we touch it and how we open to its energy. It's very powerful. It can sting us, right? And so this card and this energy, when we pull it, is like, okay, everything is happening for a reason. Let's come into a space at a time. Let's give ourselves that permission to know that it's not comfortable and that it does feel stingy sometimes. And we want to keep our eyes open. We want to pay attention to what's going around us. We want to pay attention to our stories and notice if we're getting caught in those stories and those old patterns, because they are not serving us any longer. And we really also want to pay attention to what's beyond the stories, our dreams, our inner knowing, the nature around us, everything. So it's a good card for this week. We're getting the nutrients we need to move forward in this birth. And at the same time, we must, pay attention to both letting go and what is dying for us and opening up to what's in the unseen world that we can truly trust, even if it hasn't taken root yet. So beautiful. So I'd love to take this next call, the first call today. It's Shelly in Paducah, Kentucky, and I hear it's Shelly's birthday today, so it's such a joy and beauty to be able to share with you. So hi, Shelly. It's wonderful to have you with us.
Hello.
How are you? Happy
Can you hear me?
birthday.
Oh, thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm just relaxing.
Cool. How can I be of service today? What would you like to open into?
Well, I am not sure. I've got lots of different things going on in my life, but I was like, it's my birthday. Maybe I should just get like a general what I should focus on.
Okay, I'd love to do that for you. So the way I read, it depends person to person, but today I'm getting the invitation. I'm just going to slow down and close my eyes and just first of all, and tune in and see if there's any direct messages for you from Spirit. Anything that's just, coming through. And then I will pick some cards for you and see what wants to support you on this special day and in the months to come.
Perfect.
Okay, so I might be silent for a moment, but I'm definitely still here with you. And I'm in Nashville, so we're quite close, actually.
Oh, yeah, very.
So the first thing that comes, and again, I will pull some cards to either get more clarity or maybe even get another line of truth coming through. But there's something that is wanting to birth through you that is very exciting. Something that your heart is sort of maybe, I think longing might be too strong of a word, but it's like, oh my God, like, can I really do that? Or can I really experience that in my life? And like the message is like to go for it, right? There's been maybe a waiting period of some sort, or you've had to do the drudge work to get to where you are now. And it's sort of like time for you to step into like what feels exciting. It might feel a little bit scary too, but the heart is very smiling. I didn't get any fear when I was tuning into it. But it's like, it's time for you to trust. Know that there is support for you to move forward on this path, and that you will be supported. I see a lot of joy for you, and a lot of, I almost want to say a playfulness that's coming out or asking you to sort of move into. There's also a peacefulness, like you can be quite comfortable, like, I can be at peace. And this is saying like, no, like we don't want to just be at peace. We want to play. We want to explore. We want to create. And so that's just the first thing that comes through. And it's really beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah. And you just know, like, and if you know what it is, then great. But if you don't know, it will be very clear to you. And it's soon.
I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's right there. This is not like a 3 months down the road type thing. It's like it's there. It's time. Go for it. 100% success, beauty, love, connection. I'm getting big shivers. Right? Like it's just beautiful. And then I have no idea what this means, but I'm just going to share. I get turkey energy. So the energy of a turkey, and it doesn't mean Thanksgiving or anything. And I don't remember what turkeys mean from the animal perspective or animal totem perspective. So that might be something you want to look up. But I just see a turkey like energy, and it's very happy, and it's like wandering around, and just showed itself to me. So I just want to share that with you. Okay,
I do like turkeys.
Yeah, they go in trees. I never knew that until I moved to Tennessee. And I thought, is that like an owl in a tree? And there were turkeys, right? Like, so they can be grounded, and then they can also go to those higher levels, which I think is really cool. So I'm going to pull some cards. Yeah, from a Rider Waite deck. So this is a deck that I've worked with for a long time, over
I'm pretty familiar with that one. I've never really used it, but I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Somebody just gifted me a gilded Rider Waite today.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
How cool that I'm doing the reading then today. Yeah. These were given to me. So I'm going to be 50 this year, and these were given to me when I was 21 by someone. So I've been using them for a long time, and yeah, they're very, very powerful. So I'm just going to, again, be silent for a moment.
Okay.
The other thing that's coming in, just as I'm giving thanks and I'm calling in your angels and guides, is Archangel Michael is very close for you right now, and he is there to support you on your path. So if there are any challenges that are coming in, you can really call in for his help. Or if there's any barriers that you're noticing, if only this piece would move or this piece would move, not necessarily in your emotional world or emotional life, but more in like outer things that are like in the, just in the way or feel like they're holding things up. He's here to help you right now, and you can call in on his support and his help. And you can also call in on the energy of a blue ray of light. I just feel that that's with you. And so even envisioning that blue ray of light, surrounding yourself with it, bringing light and energy with you, it'll bring a lot of support. So the first card I picked is the Temperance card. It's Major Arcana. Whenever we're working with major arcana, I always see it as bigger things and bigger energies that are at play. And I actually pulled 6 cards for you. And I'm just seeing if there's any. Yeah, we'll stop there. That's where the major arcana stop. And there's three major arcana, and then actually I pulled 5 cards, and then two cards that are not major arcana. And so this is telling me that there's a wave and a shift and a change, a flow of energy that's moving through for you right now. And there's this balance, right? So it wants you to know that everything is well. You're coming into a state, even though it's not going to feel like it, there's going to be a little bit of a bump coming up. The bump is not a bad bump. It's more of an internal trust and sort of stagnation within, but it's like everything's as it should be, and you have the ground to move forward. Do what you can to follow that joy that I was seeing in your heart. And then also give yourself permission to take the deep breath and to give yourself, like, you don't have to get in a panic or try to figure it out. It's in place. The second card is the 9 of Wands in reverse. And that is the card where when it's right side up, it's like looking over my shoulders. I can't trust. Like, I know I've got all this, but I can't trust. And so it's in reverse. And so there's a sense of, especially I think in the next couple of weeks, like, I can trust and things are okay. And I don't have to hold this fear. But I think that's what the next card is all about, is the Judgment card in reverse. But it's like, can I really let go? Is this really happening for me? Because some of the choices or some of the directions that you're taking in life on some level feel very imbalanced, right? It's almost like you're going to be making a change that's asking you to grow beyond what you've been before. And so the judgment card is like in reverse. It's not saying, oh, you can't trust, but on an internal level, there's a sense of, I don't know if I can. Can I really trust myself? Can I really trust this process? Because it's sort of turning my whole world upside down. And especially if we're looking at things, if there's anything at all that starts to come in on a financial level, or where you're like, well, I got to let this go. This is my safe space, and say, no, I'm following my heart. I'm not just going to like do what I'm supposed to do. And so that feels a little bit scary, right? So that's the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, is right after the Judgment. And it's sort of like asking you to come into a space of deeper trust in yourself. And then the final card, the last bookend, is the Hierophant. And I really like the Hierophant. Now, some people will read the Hierophant cards as like it's like society, or it's like what you're supposed to do. And for me, the Hierophant is the connection with God. It's the connection with spirit. And it's being the energy of the one who channels in spirit and connects with this higher force. It's like bringing spirit down into matter and into ground. And so the outcome is, or what we're looking at, is everything that's happening in everything that you're being asked to transform. It's like all in alignment with your path, and there's nothing to fear, because you're actually going to come into a place of power and support. And my sense is that you're going to be working more with spirit in your day-to-day life. There's going to be, I think, some openings for you energetically and spiritually, and even perhaps in the work that you do with the world, in that you are going to be able to speak more truly and more fully with that authentic voice of spirit, of intuition. And so this part of you that gets scared, or once you step into it and is like, can I trust? Can I trust? You can trust, and there's nothing that you need to hold, right? You don't need to figure it out. It's just let it unfold. The universe has got you.
Okay. That is wonderful. I have that card Hierophant, very literal.
Yes.
Because, I do work with spirit. I just haven't been doing it as closely over the years. But, like I hear spirit, I see spirit, I feel spirit. And I've been doing readings myself for other people lately, more so than I normally would, because I'm more work. And I'm a social worker.
Okay,
so I help people on a more real, I guess. I don't say it's not real. Real is not the word. Like the waking life.
Yeah.
And I like the spiritual life a little bit more these days.
Well,
so, it definitely is interesting.
Yeah, being called into it. And one of the things that I'd be curious about, even in your like day job, is how can you connect with spirit there? And I'm going to have to take the next caller in one moment, but how can you connect with spirit there? And obviously with your clients, you can't. Like, I understand it's very linear, and there's also a structure, right, that you have to be within the job you're doing. But like, even just taking the time to ground and to meditate, asking spirit to be with you when you're there, right? And then being curious about like, oh, how is this actually coming through to support them or to support me? And I would really encourage you to continue your work with spirit with others, because I think there's some bigger shifts happening for you there. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I've started getting into astrology and human design, and
I love human design. Yeah.
I'm a right angle cross of penetration 3.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, so you're here to like bring stuff in. Yeah.
And break things open. Yeah.
And break things open. It truly is. Yeah. I'm a left angle cross of uncertainty. I'm a projector as well. And so, I love human design.
I'm actually a manifesting generator.
Oh, cool.
But,
cool.
My whole design, my sun is gate 57.
Okay. Yes. Which is break again. Like, yes. It's amazing. Yeah, both break people open, but also that intuition, right? Yeah. Oh, it's so wonderful to connect with you on your birthday And
Thank you.
yeah,
I really needed it.
Yeah. And feel free, I've got a Facebook page. It's Azrael.love. It's facebook.com, Azrael.love, or check out my website, www.azrael.love. I'd love to hear from you. I do try and offer a lot of like free or affordable stuff. I offer guided journeys once a month. That, I think it's $20 or something, and I don't turn people away. Yeah. But it would be wonderful to connect with you. Yeah, if you feel called. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will find you on Facebook. Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful rest of you. And I'd love to take a call from Laura. I think I've got about 8 minutes here, and still.
Yeah, I'm still here. Hello.
Somerset.
Somersworth.
Yeah. Hi, how are you doing? It's wonderful to meet you tonight.
Hi, I'm doing good. Funny you mentioned about like working with intuition in business. Anyway, I'm doing good. Did you want my question or?
Yeah, I would love your questions because I only have a few minutes, and I'd really love to give you some answers. It's wonderful to connect with you.
Yeah. At first, I thought the previous person you were talking about me. I'm like, oh, this is so spot on. But so I've been wanting to start a psychic business. I'm having difficulty starting it. Also, I'm having difficulty finding employment. So I guess the best question is, what is it I need to know to get past this?
Okay. So one of the first things I'd like to just share with you, and then I'm going to tune in. I will pull some cards too. It's just you're not alone right now. We are at this time. Oh, I'm going to pull some cards for you personally, but I just want you to know, like, I think we're just in it and it's being reworked. So part of the invitation is and I know we have to survive, right? But part of the invitation is, how do we trust, right? How do we surrender and then do our own work right now, so that when we're really like, when this alignment happens, the energy and the flow is there. So let me just take a moment here. So just want you to know you are so supported. You have so many guides and angels around you, as I'm sure you know. You are like a powerhouse with like the psychic energy or with the access that you have to it. Ooh, this is beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So things are going to move. So again, I think a lot of it is timing for you and trusting in the timing. The first card I pulled was the Ace of Wands, which is new beginnings, potent and powerful new beginnings, and fire, right? There's that passion, there's that energy. It's going to hit you like a spark, and it's just going to open up for you. So again, I do get the sense of timing. Now, this is the first card I pulled, so it's soon. Like, there will be some sort of shift soon. I still think it will take some time to come into full fruition, but there is going to be a shift or an opening or awakening that sort of like cracks and at least says, oh, here's a little flow, here's a little energy, it feels good. And then we have two major arcana cards. We have Judgment right side up, which is like all that you've been holding, right? All that you've been like, oh my God, I've been in it. Like, why? When is this moving? How can I move? It's like clarity. It's like flow. It's like being born again. So I'm seeing more awakening and more opening for you on a psychic level. And I'm also seeing a relief and a freedom from the stress. And so that is like in a bigger way. I feel like you're going to have a lot more connection with your guides and a lot more energy coming in where they're also going to be guiding you and showing you the way. There is the moon is the third card. And the moon, again, major arcana. The moon is great because it's opening you up to greater intuition, greater flow. I've got 2 minutes here. And at the same time, sometimes it feels hidden. And sometimes we have like our stuff come up, our emotional stuff, or it's like it doesn't feel like it's coming into fruition in the outer world yet. When I see it with judgment, I'm seeing it again more connected to the intuition blossoming, but that there's still going to be those times of like, can I trust? Or I don't know what the way is, or like feeling lost, right? And I think lost again is not more about your abilities. It's more about how do I put myself out there? What is the flow in this space and in this world? And so again, it's trust. And it's not about you doing anything until the correct invitation comes. And there'll be an invitation, an opening, something that's going to move you forward. That's what the Ace of Wands. It will come to you. It's not something that you have to search out. And I'm sorry I got cut off there because I'd love to take a little bit more time with you, but I have to go in like 30 seconds. So I hope that makes sense. Feel free to reach out to me on my Facebook page, or, I'd be happy if you're like, this is what this meant to me, and you just wanted to share or process it for a moment, to do that through a message or something on there too as well. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your assistance.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm so sorry that there was a bad connection today energetically on the online, but the energetics were clear otherwise. And I really look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you so much, Shelley and Laura. And I wish you all the most beautiful and wonderful week ahead. Remember that nettle energy. Pay attention.
TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Spiritual Connections with Psychic Medium Cindy. Psychic Medium Cindy. Live from Facebook.com/Psychic Cindy. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Spiritual Connection on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hope everybody had a good day and into the weekend. So to what is today? Today's the 10/10 portal. Always something exciting on Thursdays when I do these shows. It's always funny. So it is what they call the Destiny's Gate portal today, which is, of course, in any of the portals, it's a good time to release because you need to release things in order for things to come in. But it is definitely, this is the portal that's going to get you in alignment with those manifestations. So release what you need, get your intentions out there. This is the time. Today's the day. These portals energies last for a while though. So you got a few days to get your manifestations out there, but think about what you want. It is strong. It is powerful. It is October. So we're heading into the end of the year. It's always kind of a good time to reflect on what hasn't happened yet that you wanted to happen in 2024. And you put out that as your intention. And then it's all about the trust, right? Trust that it will come in for you, if the universe wants you to have it. If not, they have a better plan. And of course, trust that it'll come in divine timing. And their timing, of course, is very different than our timing. So that is what's happening in the universe today. You may have been feeling that energy. It's been quite a bit of energy in the last few days. I know I've noticed that for sure. So before we get a caller, let's do a few cards. I picked my Earth Magic cards tonight because I thought, the energy is strong and we're trying to stay grounded on the earth. And that's the other thing too. Try to stay grounded over the next few days as you get those intentions out there to the universe. And best of luck. Best of luck that everybody gets what they want. But let's see. Okay, wow. All right. So just a few cards for us I guess for the next few days. But these are oracle cards, so they're good forever. And it's really funny that the first one comes out as rain, which is purification. And that's, kind of what I said, you do have to release. And that's what the purification is definitely releasing what no longer serves you. For some of you, that will definitely be sort of changing careers, maybe changing, moving to a different place to live, maybe just getting rid of relationships, getting rid of things that you don't longer want in your house because it's just clutter. The next card is the clouds, which is shape-shifting there. And the shape-shifting is exactly kind of what I said is, you transforming into the person that you are meant to be. This is what the shapeshifters are all about. Like we used to look at the clouds when we were little and you could see different shapes and different animals and different things. And this is what the universe wants you to do, change yourself to be who you really want to be. And that could be simply, maybe changing your career, maybe changing, where you live, but it also could be, changing your hairstyle, changing your style of clothes, whatever it is that you want to do, this is your time to do it. The final card that comes in is love and compassion, which is beautiful. This card always reminds me of the Two of Cups because it has the two hands there in the heart. So, I think for a lot of people, releasing what they need to release will bring in a lot of love, whether that's romantic or platonic, it doesn't really matter. But love is definitely coming in for you. And this is also a good reminder to love yourself. Love yourself exactly the way you are and who you are, and be proud of that because we're all souls here. That's what we are at the end of the day. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some clarification. I think those are really nice cards for the portal, actually. It kind of gives you some inspiration to do what you need to do. So let's go to Brittany in Greenville, Michigan. Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. What can I do for you this evening?
I was kind of just wondering maybe about my relationship or my business. I guess I have a couple things going on in my head right now about my relationship and my business.
Okay. All right. So let's start. Let's start with your relationship.
Okay.
Let's see. You said that first. So let's start with that. You're in a relationship right now, I take it? Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I pulled a bunch of cards for you, but let's flip them over one at a time. So the first card represents you, and that is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, I love the Hierophant. In this particular deck, this is the Modern Witch deck, so everybody looks a little different. So on this one, she's actually a woman. And the Hierophant is, she's all about spiritual wisdom, very wise, knows what's going on, but also is a person of balance and a person that wants a commitment. So this is not somebody, this also kind of goes hand in hand, depending on where it would be in the spread, as like the marriage card, right? But you're definitely somebody that wants marriage. Your person, how you see your person is the Lovers, which is perfect. I mean, perfect for a relationship reading. These two cards come out first. So I mean, that's how you see them, right?
Mm-hmm.
As your partner, how you see the relationship is the Six of Wands, which is beautiful. Like, you see it as celebration. You see it as, the wands are all about creativity and passion. And in the Six of Wands particular card, they have the wreath. There's people, around the horse, and they're like heading into the town for a celebration. What's hidden about you is you have the Ace of Cups, which is interesting. Because the Ace of Cups is a love offer. Like, there's a love offer there. So I don't know if that's something that you're offering your person or what that is all about, but we can clarify that.
Maybe he's offering me. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice, yeah. But it's what's hidden about you in that particular spot. So it's not right. It's more about you than him. But
right.
The basis of the relationship, or like why you or what's happening. This card is a weird one. It's either like what's happening with you now, or the reason you got together. And what's interesting is it's the Devil, and the Devil is all about kind of like obsession, right? So sometimes we're many of us have been or are in relationships that are karmic, so they can be quite intense. They can be very beautiful, and then they can be really not great. So that's the only thing that is like, what's going on with that? But we can clarify that. But the future of the relationship is beautiful. The future of the relationship is the Queen of Cups. So, and she is all about love, and she's all about intuition. And I mean, she's perfect when it comes to relationship readings. And the takeaway or the lesson with this card is interesting because it's the Three of Pentacles. And I love the Three of Pentacles in one sense. Certainly if I'm doing a business reading, I love it. But for a relationship reading, this is often recognition and reward. Like, that's what the card stands for. But there could be like a third party thing going on. So let's clarify. And maybe what's hidden about you is that you want the love offering. Maybe that's what the Ace of Cups is right? Like, maybe you want the marriage proposal. Is that what you're hoping for? But let's clarify the Devil. Sometimes obsessions are not always unhealthy, but sometimes they can be. Okay, so you do have the King of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so anyway, not exactly sure. I guess that's just, maybe this is a warning card. It's just something that you you need to think about, you need to know, right? Like, does this person really love me, or is this person kind of obsessed with me? And even if he is a little bit obsessed with you, it doesn't mean that you can't, bring that out and sort of like deal with that, right?
Right.
But I'm going to go the other way because the cards are so perfect, except for that one or two. But all right, so now we're going to go the other way. So now I'm going to do him and how he sees you. Okay.
Okay.
And if he is going to bring in this love offering. I'm going to split this. Feeling I need to. Okay. So same format, just him. All right. So he's now come out as the Empress. So you have the Hierophant and the Empress, which are two major arcana cards, which are super powerful, right? And the Empress is, there's no gender in tarot. So the Empress is all about love and abundance and having everything that she wants. She's also fertility too. So there's a good chance that this is is a person that possibly wants to have children, right? If he doesn't already.
No.
No, he doesn't. Okay, yeah. It was only one part of the Empress.
Well, we got a cat. We got a cat and chickens. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You're still a parent in a different way.
Right.
But I only have 2 minutes left, but how he sees you is the Five of Swords. So he has a little bit of, the Five of Swords, it's often depicted as negative, but it's not always negative. It's like this guy is taking what he needs, like the swords he needs, and he's kind of walking away. So you might be just a little bit nervous that you're walking away. But that doesn't mean you're walking away. It just means you might be a little bit insecure about that. How he sees your relationship is the Eight of Pentacles. So he sees it as, the Eight of Pentacles is all about hard work and getting things done, right? It's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. What's hidden about him is that he is the Three of Wands. So he's like waiting for something. You're waiting sort of for a love offer. It's really interesting because you've got the Ace of Cups there, like you're waiting for like a love offer or a marriage proposal or something. But he's also waiting for something too, because he's standing there kind of waiting for his ships to come in. When it comes to the basis of relationship or why you got together, I only have a minute. You do have the Two of Cups, so which is beautiful because that's soulmate energy. So the only thing I can think about with the Devil is like just look for obsessions or any addictions or anything like that. But aside from that, it doesn't feel too bad for me. And the outcome for the future is the Four of Pentacles, which is all about security and stability. The takeaway from this is the Page of Pentacles. So I do think that there is an offer coming in. This page is also about security and stability too. So it's an interesting reading. I have to say that you're definitely supposed to be together. That I can definitely tell from the Lovers and from the Two of Cups. But maybe just need to have some conversations with him. Okay. And look at the big picture. But I think you're on the right track. Thank you very much, Brittany, for calling in, and have a great night and have a great weekend. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
To A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Zodiac Zone with Melissa Mark. Live from MMAstrovibes.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Zodiac Zone on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hey everyone, welcome to Zodiac Zone, your 30 minutes of astrological insight. I'm Melissa Markham. just wanted to ask everybody how they're doing tonight.
And but I've also suffered with a lot of traumatic events that it's like
Right. I
taken
can see
me
that.
more than anything. I've spent years just trying to heal. And then now I'm like, okay, now what? Because I have not been able to stand on my 2 feet for a very long time.
I would say this to you, the biggest thing, you have 5 planets in water. So you have an overabundance. If I'm looking at your elements, it's an overabundance of water. That to me would tell me that you put relationships before yourself.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah, your closest relationships are always before you. And so when I look at your North Node, if you don't start putting yourself first, this cogwheel that you live on will continue to, and it's not going to be a very fun life for you, because you're going to continue to give all to those relationships in your life. And when you give all to them and you give nothing to you, then that's when sickness happens. That's when depression happens. That's when all of that stuff just comes up and makes you very unhappy. So I would say the thing that I would tell you is you have to listen to the higher self, and you have to start working in that, as opposed to thinking, just trying to acquire knowledge and just trying to do what everybody else wants you to do. And that's just not going to work for you. That is not going to work for you.
Yeah.
So
I just don't have like a clear picture of exactly what, but I've thought along the lines of like a non-profit, like holistic.
That'd be awesome.
Organization. But then I'm like, okay, how?
If you're leading it and communicating it, and you're the one leading it, it would be perfect. If you listen to everybody else's ideas, it's not going to work. You have to be.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be in charge of this.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's taken a lot of courage.
Yeah. No, it's this is hard stuff, but once you get to your highest vibration and you do the work, it's amazing how things shift. And then you're working with the energy and not against it. So but that is what I have for you tonight, Erica. And I wish you the best of luck. And you can always reach out to me on Melissa Markham at mmastroVibes.com if you want to go further with all of this. Be happy to do your reading.
Markham?
MARCUM.
MARCUM.
At mmastroVibes.com.
M as in Mary, N as in Nancy?
M as in Mary, M as in Mary.
Okay.
AstroVibes.
after vibe?
Astro, like Astro, like.
Oh, Astro Vibe. Okay. Got it.
Like Astro the dog on.
Okay.
The Jetsons.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, everything you said is true.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you reaching out, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do I have Joni? Is Joni on the line?
Yes.
Hi, Joni. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So when is your birthday? Day, month, and year?
March 25th, 1980.
25th, March 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what time were you born?
11:05 p.m.
11:05 p.m. And the city and state you were born?
Waterloo, Iowa.
Waterloo, Iowa?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. So I am a vibrational evolutionary astrologer. I'm really going to look at your life purpose here. And so when I look at the lunar nodes, which are elliptical points in the sky. And when I'm looking at your nodes, I see your south node is in Aquarius in the 3rd house of Gemini. And your north node is in Leo in the 9th house of Sagittarius. So what that means is typically with a south node in Aquarius, they're very much in their mind. You know, they have goals for things. They're very logical. Everything is, you know, it's in the 3rd house of Gemini. So, you know, sometimes you get easily distracted on things. And really in this lifetime, it's really about getting to the Leo energy, which is finding your heart, doing something that you really love. And in the 9th house, it's all about your journey, you know, your destiny. Where is, I mean, it's, you know, 11th house is more destiny as far as hopes and dreams. This is really about like, what is your path? What do you feel like, oh my gosh, I really need to do this. I need to not accomplish as a goal, like as an Aquarius, but I want to do this because I love it, because I feel drawn to it. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like it's really, I feel like the work that you do, because if I look at this, you have a yod, which is a spiritual assignment. For example, Princess Diana, her 2 sons have a yod in their chart. Your apex, which means what it's pointing to, is Venus in the 6th house. So I feel like it's something with health and healing, you know, and something that you feel really passionate about, and to be a healer. Although you do have Chiron in there in the 6th house, so I don't know if you've had some health problems or there's something stopping you from doing that. I'm not sure. Is that
I
is
haven't
that what
had health. I haven't had health problems.
You have? Okay.
I have not.
Oh, you have not. Okay. I'm just trying to think here. What do you do for a career?
Well, currently I don't do anything. So I lost my husband last June 15th. He had health problems.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. That would make sense. Was it something sudden or something that?
Yep. It was sudden.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. That would make sense there. Yeah, I feel like you're probably a really good worker. I don't know, you know, I mean, because you have Saturn in the 10th house. I mean, so maybe all of this, that what you are going through, I feel like something with healing. I don't know, something where you're a healer, or, you know, all of this is something that you're having to go through all of this stress and just the hardest somebody. But there's something that you're going to do to help other people that are in the same situation that you've been in, if that makes sense.
You know, maybe it's like, because I've had an addiction problem in the past, and I'm really passionate about that and possibly helping others with that. So, and I love helping people. I feel like I do that a lot.
I feel like that's your purpose, that there is purpose to all of that. And this is kind of like an assignment or something in this life that you're going to do. And it's going to be creative because you have the sun in the 5th house. So you're going to use all that creative energy that you have. And it's always going to be to you about seeing the big picture because your ascendant is in Sagittarius, you know, and you have this really kind heart. You have Neptune in the 1st house. So, yeah, however, but it's got to be purposeful, you know? And I just, that's what your chart speaks to me. Your chart speaks to me with all this, with this Virgo energy. I mean, you're an Aries, but, I don't know. It's interesting when I look at all this. It's all for this purpose of health and healing and to help others, service to others. So
yeah, that is really interesting. Something I already love doing, so.
Absolutely. I would look into all of this, you know, and the best way to, and you have Uranus in the 12th house. And I feel like there's a lot of purpose and things happening in your dreams. And I would have like a notebook by your bed. And when you're in that lucid state of consciousness, just start writing things down, you know? So.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You.
It's really nice talking with you.
Yeah, nice talking with you. Thank you for all that.
Yeah. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to express tonight, was just that full moon energy and just, you know, review things during the Mercury retrograde.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Sessions with Spirit with Gene Rose. Live from Facebook.com/Tarot Readings by Gene Rose. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv. This is Sessions with Spirit on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Gene Rose, and I am the host of Sessions with Spirit. Before I begin, I would like to give a shout out to my wife and daughter who are watching. I love you both. I hope you guys enjoy the show tonight. Guys, we have the full moon coming up next week. It is, of course, the Hunter's Moon. This is a great time of year for release. So definitely create a list of things that you wish to let go of, as well as intentions. Things that you want to sort of foster and bring in with this next moon cycle. I think that's going to be especially important and definitely one of the things that I'm going to be doing as well. Also, a little tip, if you have any smoky quartz, this full moon would be the time to charge it. I know I have a small smoky quartz tower that I am going to be charging. So just a little tip. Of course, you can charge any crystal during a full moon, but the Hunter's Moon is especially good for smoky quartz. Guys, welcome. Another week, another episode. I can't believe it. Tonight we'll be taking 2 live callers. And of course, I don't ever know what they are going to be requesting to be read on. So that's always a surprise. So I never know if it's going to be tarot or mediumship. And as always, I'm going to kick off the show with a reading from one of my followers, one of my Stiggies. And tonight, of course, I'm going to read for Kathy from New York, my home state. So you know I am very happy to be doing this reading. Kathy, oh my gosh, love, I'm so excited to be doing this. I'm going to pull for general. Reason being, and I know when people hear that word, they're like, oh, gosh, like general, that seems kind of vague. It's like, actually, it isn't. It just means that anything and everything can come up in the cards, and the cards are not limited to just one area, such as like money or love or career. So I think that's especially important to know. That's one of the reasons why it is simply my favorite to pull on when I'm reading tarot. It just is one of those that kind of gives all the goods, you know, everything that you need to know, instead of a little bit of that and this. And it really does provide great guidance. So, Kathy, let's see what the cards have to say for you tonight. So, my love, I feel like your theme is letting go of fears. Not letting things control you, specifically fear, right? First card was the 8 of Cups. That's going to refer to walking away from something or letting go of something. Could also refer specifically to an emotion, because remember, Cups is that emotion suit. It corresponds to the element of water. So all of that, the whole spectrum, the whole gamut of emotions, good and bad. You want to walk away and let go of those negative ones. So angst, fear, anxiety, doubt, anything that could be or serve as a blockage, want to walk away from. Second card is the 7 of Cups, specifically in areas where you find that you are in a pattern or stuck in a pattern. Time to get off the hamster wheel, right? Time to get off. How you're going to do that is going to be the Devil card. The Devil card is going to refer to facing your fears head on. It also is going to refer to an abuse of power. It can also refer to fear, as I said before, and also being controlled by those fears. The Devil card also refers to like manipulation, being emotionally manipulated. Of course, fear can do that. Doubts, fears, and then, of course, those illusions, if we let them get, far enough from us. Then, of course, we have the beautiful Empress card. Anything that you're not sure of, it is perfectly fine to decide not to decide. There's no rush to make any decisions. In fact, I would take things in stride. Your final card was the beautiful Hierophant, and that card has to do with faith. So having that faith, not just in a higher power, but also in yourself and in the overall situation. That, for example, you can do it on your own. So not being scared, afraid. I did just pull one extra card for you, and it was the Five of Pentacles. That loss is going to be necessary for you to purge those things that are no longer serving you. So just be mindful of that and moving forward. Kathy, I hope that reading resonated with you and helped you out some. The point of readings is for us to receive not just the direction and insight we need, but also that advice, that kind of like light bulb moment where it's like, oh, okay, I am on the right path, or I am moving in the right direction. That is a great way to help us, is through readings, because like I said before, it provides us that necessary insight. I think, my loves, I'm also going to pull, and I don't like using this word. I will spare you the why, but I will just say for everyone instead of the collective. And that is going to be an oracle from the Sovereign deck from Seasons of the Witch. I'm very particular about, of course, my decks in general, but specifically oracle decks. For example, I will not read with anything by Burning Virtue. Just not my cup of tea. So I'm very picky in regards to what oracle decks I do read from. In Seasons of the Witch, I have all of them. I do. They are definitely one of my favorites, for sure. That and anything by Patrick Lenza. So for the collective, I pulled Ancestors. They hiss a quivering so deep only roots of your soul can lift the nakedness hidden within the vows made in silence, an ancient chill walking upon the spine. Now, that card basically relates to that reminder that our loved ones, even though they are past, are still near us. They are. They don't go far. While they're not on the physical plane with us, they definitely are in the spiritual realm. And I can promise you that they do come and visit. That is how they always know, and especially in mediumship sessions. I love when a client receives confirmation, when a soul will bring up a moment, especially one from after they passed, where the only way that person could know was if they were there. That has to be probably one of my most favorite moments in a mediumship session. There really is no describing mediumship. I think one has to experience it for yourself. It is an experience. And when I say that, I am not trying to talk it down in any way, shape, or form. It just is phenomenal how spirit works and what spirit can do. I always say that the moment I am no longer excited during a reading is the moment that I will retire, because not for nothing, I love getting surprised by spirit. I do. So going back to the card, that is going to refer, like I said before, to our past loved ones being near us, being with us, and really guiding us through each day. Just because they're no longer with us does not mean that they're not there. And I know that could be a very hard pill to swallow, but it is, in fact, a reality. There's a reason why there are sayings such as there's life after death. It's not really over. It just is a new chapter. And that's it. So, guys, let me pick these cards up. I think we're going to do a caller soon, which I'm really excited for. So that I can't wait. I think we're going to do Shantae. Hello, Shantae. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How about you?
Oh, good. Good, love. Thank you so much for asking. What are we reading on tonight?
Well, I guess I was wanting some general as well.
Oh, amazing. One of my favorites. Okay. Okay, love, you got a couple of leap cards. Leap cards are going to be cards that jump from the deck as the reader is shuffling. They don't mean anything negative or bad. It just is spirit putting a specific emphasis on those cards. You actually received 3, which is kind of cool. Usually it's 1, maybe 2. But to receive 3, it's like, okay, this is what you need to focus on. The first card was the 9 of Pentacles. You do have stability up ahead, but you're going to have to stop overthinking and overdoing things. That's going to be of the utmost importance. I think you know exactly what I'm referring to or speaking of. Just things that you keep coming back to, no matter what. Even though you know the situation is going to work out, you still keep falling back and like, okay, what if this happens? Or what if that happens? Best advice I can give you is definitely do not walk into something either expecting nothing or expecting the worst. Reason why is going to be that is exactly what you manifest. No matter what the situation, you always want to expect the best. That I cannot stress enough. Your second card was the 9 of Wands, setting yourself up for success, putting yourself in positions where you find those opportunities, even those possibilities, for you to gain even more momentum. The last of the leap cards was the 3 of Cups. Do you have like a raise coming into play, or are you applying for a job? What is with career?
Yes, I'm
applying
for jobs.
Yes, Queen. Okay.
Yes.
I love it. I think you're definitely going to land one. First card of the actual reading was the 6 of Pentacles. That's going to refer to help coming in a time of need. Now, I will throw it out there that the Pentacle suit does refer to money and material things. Just a money suit, right? So it also, in turn, relates to income. So I think, and I wouldn't give up hope. Have you been trying for a lot of jobs? Like, have you been just getting turned down left and right? Or people be like, oh, I'll call you back, and you never do. Yes. Oh, love, you're probably getting discouraged. Don't. I know it's way easier said than done, but I'm telling you, you are on the horizon of that blessing. You truly are. It's right there at your fingertips. It's just that spirit doesn't want you to give up yet. The next card in the reading was the Star. That's going to refer to a hope, wish, or dream coming true. That card also does refer to harmony coming back into play. I think once you land the job, everything is going to fall into place, and even some of that financial stress is going to let up. I also want to throw it out there that I think your hourly wage is going to be more than you expect. It might not be by much, but still, in the end, it will, even if it's just by $1 or $2, will be way more than you were originally expecting or hoping for. The next card was the Hangman, and that card fell reversed. I'm very happy to say that. Reason why, and I don't know if you know this about tarot cards, but if they drop reversed, then that changes the meaning of the card. Now, if it were to fall upright, it would refer to you remaining in a state of limbo. However, yours fell reversed, as I said, and that is going to refer to a situation coming to an end. So that lack of employment coming to a close and that gainful employment beginning. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, excellent. The last 2 cards were the Page of Swords followed by Justice. Page of Swords is the start or beginning of something new. Did you apply to anything in like communications or dealing with communications?
Yes.
Phones? You did? Okay. I was going to say that Page of Swords was a little telling. No worries, love. So the start or beginning of that new opportunity, followed by Justice, the scale evening out. Now let me pull one more card for you. Just because who doesn't love extras, right? So then the extra card I pulled is going to refer to a situation coming to a positive end or positive close. It refers to a lack of a disappointment, even a lack of a betrayal. So it's definitely obvious to me that it is not only going to work out to your favor, but it's going to be a bit above and beyond.
Okay.
I definitely hope this brings you some peace, love. Maybe now you won't be so worried.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome, my love. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Thanks.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye. Guys, up next we have Billy from New York. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, love. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. What are we reading on tonight?
Family relations. My mother is ill, and I'd like some advice where to go with.
Oh, no problem, love. I'm sorry to hear that. How's the weather in New York?
It's raining a lot. But other
I
than
can
that, it's not
understand
bad.
that.
I'm glad I'm not in Florida, so.
You're right. I know. Oh, our hearts go out to them down there. Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Love, did you quit your job to take care of her? Or did you kind of put your life on hold to stop and take care of
I did put my
her?
life on hold, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. First card is the Three of Pentacles. That card is going to be all about teamwork makes the dream work. The next card was the Tower, though. That card is going to refer to feeling like the carpet was ripped out from underneath you. So your previous normal was ripped away from you, and now you have this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. Okay. The next card was the Eight of Swords. Now, I will say, before I say anything else, that eights do refer to direction. So that's very important to know. So while the card itself refers to feeling stuck or feeling stuck between like a rock and a hard spot, feeling trapped, and it is very obvious that you could very well feel that way because it is your mom. It's almost like you have that guilt that you need to, but at the same time, it's that kind of like, yeah, but what about me in my life? You know what I mean? Because you're getting older just as much as her. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. So like I said, I don't think it's going to stay that way. So I want you to remember that. The next card was the Six of Cups.
Okay.
That card is going to refer to joy. Definitely take any moments, especially presently. Make sure you are completely investing in them and staying present. This is both with her and not with her. And I'm not talking about like a physical passing. I'm talking about when you're in front of her and not in front of her. So when you have your own downtime, make sure you're actually taking that downtime. You're doing your self-care. You're reading a book. Maybe you crochet or knit, or you want to catch up on a series on Netflix. No matter what it is.
Right.
And it doesn't have to cost $1 million. No matter what it is, make sure you are taking that time for you for self-care. That is also going to help you in taking care of her. And the reason why I say that, it's almost like a stay-at-home mom. They need a break, right? They can't constantly take care of their kids. No, you need to have that break. You need the same thing. You need to have that break and that time for you. Even if you just go out quickly and get your nails done. It doesn't matter. It's time for you. Sit in the parking lot at Starbucks. Get a coffee. Just sit there and enjoy the quiet. Little things like that. I think that's going to help you out a lot. And it's definitely one thing that you sort of been putting on the back burner. You're doing it so selflessly, of course, but at the same time, you don't want to be doing it to your detriment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The last card was Strength. That has to do with courage as well as bravery. Are you kind of nervous because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the matriarch?
Yeah, we don't know what's going on, and it seems to be me who's taking care of everything. My whole family's just kind of put it on me, so it's like there's a storm coming, but I don't know how it's going to be. This does help me feel better with more guidance, so I appreciate it.
Oh, Billy, you're so welcome, love. I would say, and especially like I said, with the being the matriarch, right now, everything got thrown in your lap, and now you're stuck to take care of everything. That even would make sense with that card I pulled earlier, that Eight of Swords, where I said you're feeling stuck. Everything is just getting thrown on top of you. I would be very careful in regards to not taking that time for you. I know it's not always the easiest thing to do. There's only 24 hours in a day, but make sure you carve out, even if it's 5 minutes for yourself in the morning when you're having coffee, to say, write out your gratitude list. Little things like that are going to make a world of difference for you, especially since everything is getting thrown in your lap. You need to make sure you're taking that downtime, especially if everyone else is unbothered, if you get it or not.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No worries. I pulled extra cards for you. Yes. I pulled another one, and it was the Five of Cups. That card fell reversed. As long as you're doing that self-care, you will not have any regret. And like I said, definitely be mindful when you are with your mom to be present in those moments with her. Don't get frustrated. Don't feel guilty over getting frustrated. You're not always going to be at your best. Basically, it's okay to not be okay. Understand and remember that.
Okay.
The next card was the Fool.
Right.
The card is all about staying present, stopping and smelling the roses. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana. So he kicks off that whole section of the deck. He's able to stay so present because he hasn't yet been hurt by life's disappointments. So he's able to come from a space where, the glass is half full instead of it being half empty. He's very able to do that, to be positive. I'm not saying you have to be a positive Polly 24/7, but it definitely isn't going to hurt.
Okay.
Especially if are you feeling like depleted? Like, I feel like I just got all the wind out of my sails. Like, ooh. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, love. Are you not sleeping well? Like, very restless, I feel like. Very restless.
I'm very restless. I'm very restless.
Oh, love. Yeah. Even when you're supposed to be relaxing, you're unable to. And it's like, even when you're laying in bed, and I only giggle, not to poke fun, but because, my love, I do this as well. You will try to get all settled down in bed, and then out of nowhere, you're like, oh my gosh, when I go to the store, I need light bulbs. Or when I go out tomorrow, I have to stop and get this. Or I can't forget to do the laundry tomorrow. Whatever it may be. I will share this, and this is more on a personal note. I found a little relief when I kept a little pad and pencil on my nightstand. If I could get those thoughts out of my head and onto paper, then I was able to kind of, really relax and let go and didn't have as much on my mind because I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it.
Okay.
Yeah. It sounds trivial, but it really does help immensely. And then as those thoughts pop into your head, just write them down. And then, just like emotions, you release them, release those thoughts, and then you will be able to relax or take a bath at night. That helps a lot too.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll help you wind down, start creating a ritual, if you will, or a routine for at night. And that way you can start looking forward to that and that, winding down sort of energy instead of kind of always being on the go, go, go.
Okay.
Even with the Fool, that card is all about taking your time with things. So not speeding or rushing through things, especially if it's anything involving yourself. You want to go slow and show yourself grace.
Okay.
You're only one person. So just don't forget that. Okay, Billy?
Okay.
Yeah. I know I threw a lot at you. I'm so sorry, love. Like I said, just, keep Post-its by your bedside. That way you can write down those intrusive thoughts, kind of take things in stride, understand and know that you do have the start of long-term stability coming up, but it's going to be necessary for you to not only take that time for yourself, but also enjoy those moments with your mom.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes, thank you so much.
No worries, my love. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you, my love. You take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Guys, we had 2 wonderful callers tonight. Those readings were absolutely spectacular. They were definitely a blast to do, as well as that reading we did for Kathy. I want to thank you all so much for joining me this evening. It was definitely a pleasure to be doing this show tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode with Jen. Yes, stay tuned and look forward to more surprises like that, and especially with the holidays coming up. You know, don't forget the full moon is on the 17th. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of homework. Write down those things that you wish to release. And that way you will have a better time, an easier time bringing in and manifesting those intentions. Guys, don't forget to follow me at Tarot Readings by Jean Rose over on Facebook. You can also find me on TikTok at Mrs._Stiggy, Stiggi. Definitely find me over there. We have a lot of fantastic things coming out this month, including merch. So yeah, maybe pop in and say hello. Also, don't forget, I am available for private sessions. So if you like my style of reading or would like a mediumship session, feel free to contact me to get that set up, and I will get you on my schedule. Guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for another beautiful episode. I wish you all well. Have a wonderful night. Be blessed. Take care of each other. But most importantly, take care of you. Good night, guys.
#1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Mystical Empowerment Time with Deb Bullion. Live from SpiritQuestSchool.org.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Mystical Empowerment Time
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm over here in the sunny Gold Coast of Australia. Just a quick word of wanting to acknowledge what many people over in the US have been through with this awful hurricane that came through. So I just wanted to acknowledge and say our thoughts are with you. Our prayers are with you. And I can imagine that this is a very trying time for very many people. And of course, there's been this awful loss of life as well. And so blessings to all who are suffering at the moment, and prayers be with you. So today, I guess, on that topic, I thought it was appropriate that we talk about mediumship. Although I demonstrate it regularly, and so many of the beautiful hosts on A1R Psychic Radio demonstrate mediumship regularly, I thought we'd dive a little deeper into it and talk about what we're actually doing and what mediumship really means. So mediumship is a very misunderstood word, even in the industry. Some people put down psychic medium, although they don't typically talk to loved ones who have crossed over. They might be instead be doing psychic readings, which are all about the client's past, present, and future. And the reason that they still use the word medium is because medium is the in-between. So we are the in-between the spirits, the spirit guides, the angels, the higher self, and those who we are talking to here in the flesh. And so the word medium gets used quite a bit. But a true mediumship reading is really all about helping the client or the caller, such as yourselves, to connect with somebody that they have lost over in spirit. And to do that, I'll be talking a little bit later on in this show about the techniques that we use and the difference between a good mediumship reading and a great mediumship reading. All right. So I believe that we are getting ready to take a caller. It'll be interesting to see what they choose, whether they'd like a psychic reading today or a mediumship reading today. So we have Lindsay in Wilmington, Massachusetts with us now. Are you there, Lindsay?
I sure am.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for joining me. Were you hoping to have a reading about yourself today or to hear from a loved one who's crossed over?
I mean, if I could hear from a loved one that's crossed over, that would be excellent, but either or is fine with me. I mean, it would be great if somebody would come through, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, they're showing me a young man. Immediately, they just show me this picture of this young man. He's got like a basketball in his hands. Does this mean anything to you?
A basketball cap? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so it's like they've got a basketball in their hands, and they're just showing me this. Yeah.
Nothing ringing a bell.
Okay, so has there been a young person that was lost from friends or family, a young male?
Yeah, there's been lots of passings.
Okay, so the young male had a light brown hair, and I feel like whether he was a basketball player or he was just a fairly active young man, can you place a young man that had brown hair, but on the lighter side of brown, and he looked to be in really good condition, like he enjoyed sports or kept himself quite busy. It may be going back a while. Does that make any sense to you?
I mean, I want to say that I did have a few friends that passed like right after graduating high school. So would it be like around that age?
I was going to say, went back a while. So was this back in the 70s or 80s?
Oh, I was born in 81. So I mean, if it was anybody before that, I'm not sure. But
so if you're
the ones that would have passed would have been like early 2000s. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, because he's showing me 80s, and I was thinking whether that passed, but it possibly when he was born. And he's making me feel like it was a tragedy. His passing was an absolute, he's using the word tragedy. So it was very unexpected. There was no illness involved. It feels very much like an accident.
Like a car accident?
Does this make any sense to you? Yeah.
Yeah, I just actually, one of our, a kid I had gone to school with and was really close with, he was just rear-ended on the highway this past year, and passed away. But he was been older, so, so I'm trying to figure out I mean, there's a lot of overdoses. Another one of my friends had passed. Supposedly he had committed suicide, but I just don't see him doing that. But
so this guy just said the word to me, Framingham. So
what did he say? Framingham?
Yeah, Framingham's like Framingham, Massachusetts. So this person either moved to or this town was relevant.
I mean, Framingham is close to Wilmington, but Framingham wouldn't ring a bell to me for anything. But it is a close area to where Wilmington is.
Okay.
I mean, I could possibly forget
so
too.
potentially went to school there. So maybe university. Let me just see, because the man that showed me the younger boy, it could be for me to describe him to you. So let me see if he actually, I'm just going to ask him to show me how old he was when he passed.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, so 41. I'm really bad at maths. So if
you're good, I'll help you.
Yeah, so he was saying he was around 41 when he passed. He was in his early 40s.
Yes, Mike.
Okay, all righty.
That's who I would think it would be.
He's showing me
and he was into sports, very, very active.
Yeah, and so he's showing me that he was, he had quite a chirpy, cheeky personality. He was upbeat. When he was in school, he's showing me that he wasn't like Mr. Super Popular, but he was liked. He was really well liked.
Yeah, very well liked, very well liked. But you're exactly right.
Okay. So we know his cause of passing. Let me just get into more detail about time spent with you. So
please.
The memories of the two of you. Oh, wow. So he's showing me like ice cream and movie theaters. He's showing me like kicking around.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's crazy that you say that, because I got a picture of I'm sorry, I'm trying to tear up, but we don't go to the movies, and I have a picture that my friend's father had posted up, and it's myself and two of my friends that have passed, him being one of them in it, and it was just recent that it was posted up.
Oh wow! Because he's like
movies.
He just gives me this feeling of being in a town, and just like the streets were yours, and you guys just
he definitely ran Wilmington.
Yeah, and it wasn't like you were in trouble or anything else. It was just that you were always looking for things to do together. And he shows me that even on nights where there was not a lot of money or not a lot to do, that you guys just made your fun. You just had a good time.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now... All right. He's showing me, I don't know if this is you or a friend, but he's showing me a female with blonde hair that's probably not far off my own. And I know that you may not be watching, but probably just past shoulder length, a bit of curl, but she's got like a bright yellow shirt or dress and like wearing like almost like a beaded necklace. And he's just like, you guys always palled around and kicked around together. So did you have a friend that was blonde, or was that you?
I had a friend that my friend Kelly and Katie, either or one of them. They both had the short shoulder length. It's probably Kelly.
Okay. Because I feel like she was a real gas. Like he's saying she was like, you guys got hours of entertainment out of her. There was always a laugh.
Yeah, oh yeah. For sure.
Like she was a bit of a clown.
Oh yeah.
I feel like his humor was sharp, dry, and he was really funny, but she was more of a clown and sometimes didn't even mean to be a clown, but just made everybody laugh.
Oh yeah, she definitely did.
Okay. So he says we're reconnected. So is he talking? Is Kelly in spirit?
No, Kelly. No, she's alive.
Okay, so let me see who he's talking about.
It could be somebody that he's connecting to. He might be talking about his wife. I don't know his wife. I mean, he did go on to get married, have kids, and things like that. But obviously, I mean, we're in our 40s. You lose touch with people, but he was somebody very special to me.
Okay. So I'm just asking him to speak through me. What do you mean by he's saying about you, like he's so happy that you're reconnecting with him, but he feels like that you've been on this process of reconnecting with him for a little while now. Like he said, it's funny that you've been looking at photos, you've been thinking about those times. Yeah. He's saying that's him because he feels like you should never have lost touch, but life just makes you lose touch sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and he wants you to know that you are in as much in his heart as he is in yours, and that those were some of the best days of his life, and that you guys had such a warm friendship group. That isn't it wonderful that you have all of those rich memories to look back on because they'll never be taken away. Even on the other side, they reminisce, they still remember. Was there another cheeky guy too that used to pal around with you guys who was a little more thought he was a tough guy?
Yeah, probably Joe. He's passed.
Okay, yeah. That was what I was going to say. It seemed like he was. Sometimes people play the tough guy act because they're a little bit of a fraidy cat and they're a little frightened. And so they come up with a tough person persona, but they're really nice underneath it all. And he was just wanting to acknowledge that he couldn't leave that friend out either, that the dynamic of all of you together was just magic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really was. It was fun. So much fun.
Yeah. Now, he's talking about you having a daughter yourself. Have you a daughter?
I do. Yeah, I have a daughter. I do.
Yeah. And he's saying
17.
It's like, he's saying it's like she's at the same age that you guys kicked around together.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And that you were hoping she had the same kind of experiences and memories, but life's a little different for her.
Yeah, it is completely.
Yeah, they're more into their devices. They're more into a different style of friendship now.
Yeah, not even that. It's just she's got differences.
Okay, because he's saying you get a bit melancholy, you get a little bit down that she doesn't get the same experiences.
Yeah, I do.
But she has her form of happiness. She has her way. And he wants you to know that bridges may burn, things from the past may not come back, but it's going to get better for her in the future.
I hope so. I really do.
He's saying that it's like, I don't know how to explain this. It's like she awakens from a slumber. It's like suddenly her world expands, but just to wait for it because it's around 23 or 24, her life just completely shifts gears and you're going to be so relieved. So he just wants you to know not to get down, to just wait for it. Things are going to get better for her. It's going to get brighter. And he's playing me this song and I don't know the words very well, but it's like that song, ooh, things are going to get brighter.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, yes.
Ooh, he's playing that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. And he's just trying to say, if he could give you anything, it's the gift of knowing she's going to be fine.
Thank you.
Okay?
I appreciate that,
As for yourself.
Oh, God, shit show.
No, he says you have been lucky in love.
When?
So you don't think so?
I mean, like I had met somebody 9 years ago, but it was like real brief when I was living somewhere else, different state, and I came home and would get in touch here and there, and I always had like a weird connection with him, just like an instantaneous connection, and but we've been talking together again, but I don't know, that would be the only thing that's good, because my child's father, I mean, he's an addict and he can't seem to father
Can't
up.
get it together. He's saying, hold on to this lovely, lovely man that's back in your life. He's saying, hold on. Our relationships don't have to be traditional for them to be rich and to feel good. And he's saying, see, you have had some luck, and to just go with it and let the relationship be what it is. It doesn't have to be the traditional, we live in the same house, etc. He's saying your life wouldn't even permit that at the moment.
Right. No, I know that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So he's saying, just know that
he's kind of tied up anyway.
Yeah, just know that this man is a blessing. Just know the man is a blessing, and he's just right for just now. And to know that even for you, by the time your daughter's life switches up and turns around and gets much brighter, he's saying you won't know yourself either, because there's really good things coming for you.
I pray to God so, yes. I pray to God so.
Yeah. And any time that you want him to be with you, like he's saying, just say his name and he will be there by your side. And if anything, he'll drop in a memory of something that used to make you guys laugh. He said, because you deserve more laughter. So just call him in and he will give you a memory of something that you could laugh about.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for letting me bring him through for you, Lindsay, and wishing you all the very best.
You too. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You too.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Wow. So it's funny how things work out. I wasn't sure who our caller would be, as I never am, and I'm never sure what they want. But today they said we needed to talk about mediumship. And I think that's probably just some evidence that these readings are not just frivolous. They're not just for a bit of fun. Sometimes they can be so very, very healing. Clearly that Lindsay was somebody who had lost somebody that she kind of drifted away from, but that man wanted her to know that what they had was so special, their friendships, and that those bonds are remembered even on the other side. And that those who were dear to us at one time still wish us all the best from the other side too, and can still pop in on us once in a while. So I mentioned earlier, before our beautiful caller, that we would talk a little bit about mediumship. And I wanted to talk about the difference between a good reading and a not so good reading. And then we'll talk about the difference between a good reading and a great reading. And this will be a teaching moment as well. So I'll tell you, sometimes when people misconstrue the word medium and people think they're going to hear from a loved one, it's because it's not within that psychic medium skill set, because they don't particularly do mediumship readings. So before you order a reading, make sure that you're getting what you want and that that's part of their wheelhouse, that's part of their skill set, and that you really want to connect to people who have crossed over. Now, what's the difference between a good reading and a great reading? A good reading is where we give some evidence that the person is with us, but the great reading is where we can really give deep evidence. We can describe the person, describe their personality, understand how they passed, if, as was just happened, was presented to me how he passed. Otherwise, it would have been up to me to figure out how did that person pass, if Spirit will talk about it. And then we want to go on to things in formatting, how we format our reading to make sure that it is as healing as possible for those who we read for. So some of the things that we can include in our reading is information all about the person's life. What did they love? What was important to them? Sometimes it's the small little things that have meaning. For example, If you have somebody with you in spirit who was a wonderful cook, you can ask them what they were known for. And it might be a dish that was just so particular to them that, of course, the client has confirmation that, yeah, they were actually known for tiramisu. They were known for that dessert. Or, yeah, that was their favorite thing to cook for the family. And it might seem like such a small thing, but our lives are made up of small things and small moments. It's not always the big moments that we're defined by. So a great reading will include the small moments as well as the big, and definition about who that spirit was, definition about what was important to them. Sometimes it's the person's work. Other people just work for a living, and it's not exactly the love or thrill of their life. So as you can imagine, if you have a poet or a musician or a doctor or somebody come through who got to do what they loved in life, then there might be some chit chat about that during the reading. And that is evidence, of course, of who we're bringing through. But equally as important are the times that they loved, the holidays that they loved, the things that were meaningful to them. And then we would move into, and it's not that everyone formats their readings this way, but it's just letting you know some evidence that you might expect from a really good or great reading. Evidence of times spent together where your client and that person in spirit intersected and spent time together. So I'm so grateful for Lindsay calling through because we got to provide that evidence. It was a picture that he showed me of like being at the movie theater, and she said that's exactly the picture that she had. And it was like ice cream movie theater hanging around on the main street. And that is what we would consider evidence of shared experiences. And sometimes, of course, that was a very brief reading. When we have a whole hour together, it can bring through much, much more evidence. What other types of evidence? Proof that they still go on. So, for example, in that reading where we were just talking to Lindsay's friend in spirit, he was saying that he sees that she has a daughter. And so even though they'd lost touch, maybe he knew that before he passed. But if there had been a long time between a person's passing and then this mediumship reading, sometimes they'll say, oh, I see that they graduated from uni, or I see that they've had 2 children, or whatever the case may be. And that is that beautiful evidence that spirit is still looking over, is still watching over and seeing what happens in our life. So some of the most poignant or some of the most beautiful things to bring through are special occasions. So for example, we've all seen this happen or had it happen ourselves where we're at a special occasion. Maybe it's our wedding or our child's wedding or a graduation day. And we think, oh, wow, we so wish that, grandmother was here. Grandma would have loved this, would have loved that. But very often they are there, especially if we invite them to attend. Sometimes, whether they're invited or not, they wouldn't miss it for the world. And in a mediumship reading, they can usually recount what they saw at those special occasions. And that's really important evidence to bring through as well. The other types of things that they might bring through are what's going on in the client's life. So if you're receiving a reading, don't be surprised if your loved one doesn't talk about your life and what's happening for you now. I'll give you an example. I remember years ago at my first paid reading in front of an audience, so a platform mediumship event standing in front of a crowd. There was a young lady sitting with 2 older women. And when I say older, they were not even middle-aged. I say she was probably in her early 20s and these women were in their early 40s to mid-40s. And it kind of looked like she was with her mom and perhaps her aunt. And the person who came through was a grandmother. And everything was spot on, She cooked, she did this, she didn't like her big hands, she always hid them in her apron. But when things really took off, I asked for the message, and the messages are usually fairly simple. It's, I love you or I'm proud of you. They're usually very simple messages. But when we ask them a more in-depth question, such as, what is your advice? Things really opened up for this young lady, and she got spoken to about needing to stand up for herself at work. So often they'll give us that type of evidence as well of things that are going on in your life right now and their advice. So I just wanted to finish up there and let you know that if you would like a mediumship or a psychic reading of your own, you can reach me on www.deb.bullions.com.au. And if you'd like to learn yourself, it's www.spiritquestschool.org. So I'm available for personal readings, one-to-one. Usually they're a 1-hour session. And I'm also available for one-to-one mentoring and teaching if you would like to learn more about how to do this yourself. I thank you so very much for joining me this week and look forward to being with you next week. All the best.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for the Hallie Elise Show with Hallie Elise. Hallie Elise. Live from HallieElise.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is the Hallie Elise Show
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I am delighted and excited to have you join me this evening. And I have a special surprise for you. You may have met my friend and very talented individual, Harry Bear, before. I've had him on the show a couple of times over the years, and he was on this segment with A1R not that long ago. And we had such a great response. We thought we'd bring him back on. If you missed the other couple of shows, back on WNN as well as here, let me tell you a little bit about Harry. He really is multifaceted, and he is considered a wise man. Now, you've heard a wise woman, wise guy, not quite the same thing, but he really is a very wise individual, very learned. He had been trained in transcendental meditation. He has taught transcendental meditation, and he's actually created, the way that I view it, honestly, is a university of higher learning. Now, he'll have the opportunity to share a lot about that this evening. And so be sure to get comfortable. And without any further ado, hi, Carrie, and welcome.
Hi, be here again.
So, fill in the blanks. I just gave a very quick bio. I mean, I left off Wall Street. I left off all the books. Like I said, wise man and very talented.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm a life coach. I became a teacher of transcendental meditation when I was 20 years of age. So that was about maybe 10 or 12 years ago. And okay, longer than that. And I trained teachers of TM as well. And then in 2010, I founded Higher Self-Healing Meditation. I found that the organization that was teaching TM was charging a fortune to learn it. And it's such a beautiful and innocent, easy to learn technique. I adapted it to some extent and launched, really branded my own style of meditation, which, like TM, is effortless. And, one of the problems I think so many people have experienced with meditation is that it is difficult. I mean, that has always been the major bone of contention for many people who wanted to learn meditation, tried some form of meditation, and often gave up because they found it just too difficult to do.
I have to say, when I taught over at Nova University many moons ago, back in mid-90s, it was really fun for me because of that reason, believe it or not. People would come in and they'd say, I really want to learn this, but it's so difficult, it's so hard, and for me, it was a matter of paying attention to them more, because we all learn in different ways. There's kinesthetic learning, there's visual learning, there's auditory, and that kind of came into play without my even realizing. I was just sharing some information from Shakti Gawain that I connected with in respect to meditation and passed that on, and it evolved. I know your introduction to meditation is different than mine, and I love the idea of having ease, because that was so important to me, for people to come in and not feel frustrated when they left. And I know there are a lot of teachers that say, oh, you have to do it this way, and it's very stiff and it's very rigid, and you have to follow rules too much. And I think you agree with that as well, yes?
Yeah, here's the thing that's interesting. Every night when we put our heads on the pillow, turn the light out, we go from what we call the waking state of consciousness to a state we all know called sleeping. And that happens without any effort whatsoever. Now, for some people, they can hit the pillow and they're out in, a minute, and other people, it might take a half an hour. But the point I'm making that's important here is that at the moment that transition occurs from waking to sleeping, it happens without any effort on our part. In fact, any effort on our part will only interfere with this very natural, effortless process of going from one state of consciousness to the next. And that happens in the middle of the night too. At some point, we begin to have our eyes rapidly move and we move into what we call the dreaming state of consciousness. Those are the three states of consciousness that people are familiar with. The beauty of the meditation that I teach is that it allows us to go to a fourth state of consciousness called pure consciousness or transcendental consciousness. The yogis of India call it samadhi, which really means steady mind. And that happens also effortlessly.
Now, with these different states of consciousness, and we could go through the scientific side of it and talk about, when we're awake and we're talking as we are now, we're in beta, and then that higher state or going in deeper is beta, and then we go to delta and theta, and we can go a little further. Mm-hmm. What is the similarity or what is the corollary between that and understanding those states of consciousness and what you're describing?
Well, I'm not exactly familiar with each of the delta, beta, theta, etc., except to say that in the fourth state of consciousness, what occurs is that the brain waves are correlated between the left and the right side of the brain. I don't want to get into too much of the weeds of the science because people will often find that a little bit maybe complicated. Except to say that, the left side of the brain in right-handed people is pretty much associated with our rational nature, and the right side is more associated with our artistic, intuitive nature. The idea that the two can be integrated suggests almost kind of like what Leonardo da Vinci had, this great artist who is also a scientist. I'm not suggesting that if people learn the meditation I teach that they'll start painting the Mona Lisa. That's not likely going to happen. But there is a beautiful kind of integration that starts to occur. And the most important point that I really want to make here tonight is that the reason most meditation techniques are difficult is because they involve some kind of concentration or control of the mind. The mind naturally wants to go toward more pleasure. And the good news is that deep within us is a field of unlimited happiness, really, peace, bliss, it's been called. In India, they call it ananda, bliss. And the mind wants to go in that direction. What happens in the higher self-healing meditation that I teach is that with the use of a mantra that helps quiet the mind, the vibrations are such that the mind naturally moves in this direction and doesn't have to be controlled or concentrate to move in that direction.
Okay, so going on the basis of the mind moving into that direction on its own, how do you facilitate? Do you just have people sit in a room and tell them to be quiet?
No, I think mothers do that, and maybe nuns do that, but no, I don't actually do that. The mantras that are used really help facilitate it. So it's not like they just sit and do nothing. They're using a vibration that has been known for, it's not like there's just one mantra. There are many mantras, but all of these mantras have the effect of quieting down the mind, I mean, let's face it, for millennia, mothers and grandmothers have used vibration, lullabies, to help put, children and grandchildren to sleep. The children, the little babies, they don't know what the, lullaby and goodnight means. They hear something very soothing, and that soothing vibration helps move them from the waking state to the sleeping state. Like that, analogously, the mantras help move the mind of the meditator. Whether the meditator believes in this or not is not important. Right. It naturally will move the meditator from the waking state more toward that fourth state of consciousness.
All right, so if someone wants to get to this fourth state of consciousness, they can just do any mantra, or are there specific mantras? Because I, like you know, that different sounds, different intonations have different frequencies.
That's
and
right.
specific frequencies put us into individual states. I mean, there's the solfeggio, if I'm saying it correctly, frequencies, for instance, that a lot of people are familiar with. You can actually look it up on YouTube in many different places. And they'll give you a particular number of a frequency and tell you, oh, this one helps you with love, or this one helps you with peace. Now, they don't specifically talk about shifting into that state. They just talk about outcome. So can you clarify for a little bit as far as the difference between, let's say, the mantra with the idea that whether you believe it or not, you're just doing it, it happens. What is the difference between that frequency and, per se, a frequency that's just supposed to bring about the end result?
Well, in this case, the end result that these mantras are designed to produce are a calming down of the nervous system, a quieting of the mind, allowing the mind to experience greater silence, and being able to transcend the quietest level of the mind to experience this unbounded awareness that's deep within us. You don't have to believe in sleep to fall asleep. You don't have to. The other nice thing that's about the higher self-healing meditation that I teach is that it doesn't require any change in religious beliefs or philosophical beliefs or lifestyle or diet or anything along those lines, because what we're working on is something much more fundamental than that. It's the natural tendency of the mind to want to experience greater peace and greater happiness. And as I said earlier, the good news is that below the surface of the mind, psychologists have said we use maybe 1/10 of our potential. There's this vast reserve of deep silence deep within us. And what this meditation does is allow us to, as if, dive within. You can go to the Atlantic Ocean, like as both of us live near it. You can swim across it, or you can snorkel, or you can scuba dive. Scuba diving will allow you to go deep. Like that, the meditation that I teach will allow you to go deeper into the deeper, quieter places of the mind, where there's more energy, more peace, more creativity, and more happiness.
Because you teach this, because you have the education part, you train masters, teachers, as well as the individual. If someone wanted to reach you, do they go online? Do they call you? What's the best way to contact you?
Yeah, I mean, they can do either of those. I'd be happy to present. You could reach me at carriebayer22@gmail.com. You could call me at 845-664-1883. And if I'm not meditating, I'll pick up your call. I'd be happy to talk to you. I'm giving a free talk on Zoom. Can I say Zoom on Skype? I hope so. On Monday night, this coming Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And if anybody wants to contact me, I'd be happy to give them, the Zoom logistic information to get into that free talk.
Let's clarify. Carrie is spelled C-A-R-Y.
That's right. CARYBAYER 22@gmail.com. My mom had a thing for Cary Grant.
All righty. Me too.
A lot of people did.
And would you be so kind as to do one of the mantras while we're listening, while we're live, so that people watching can understand? Because some people hear the word mantra and they're thinking that you have to get into yogi position and go Om and over and over and over. That's not exactly what you're talking about. Would you illustrate for us?
The answer is, well, you're right. It isn't that. The meditation that I teach is really taught one-on-one. So the ability to do that here now in this setting really doesn't exist. I need to present a mantra to someone. The beautiful thing about that is it's interactive. So literally in the first minute of instruction, a person will have a deep experience. And I'll say, after just 15 seconds of their first meditation experience, I'll ask, was it easy? And I've taught many hundreds of people over the years, and not a single person has actually answered the question because their experience is so new and so different that they literally are silent. They're literally, it's as if their breath, so to speak, was taken away. They just give me that look of awe, that kind of beautiful thing. So the answer, unfortunately, to your question is I can't do that now because it has to be done interactively. There's also a beautiful ceremony that's presented. This is part of a long tradition of great yoga teachers who have passed this wisdom on for many, many, many centuries.
Okay, so we are in a society that wants to hear, see, know, touch, experience with a multitude of their senses.
Yeah.
Would you say that when you work with an individual, they have that type of experiential outcome so that it's not limited to just, okay, I have peace of mind, but in actuality, their entire body just kind of melts into peace and their mind not only is peaceful, but also alert. And what they smell, what they hear, what they see is interconnected on a higher consciousness.
Yeah, I mean, you used a couple of words there that were interesting about peace and alertness. Because, unlike sleep, in which there's no awareness, and unlike normal waking, in which there's awareness, but often not necessarily relaxation, this fourth state of consciousness combines the opposites of peace and alertness. Some people have called it restful alertness. The body is more rested than it is during the deepest part of a night's sleep, as measured by how much oxygen you're taking in. And there's more awareness as measured by EEG, brainwave activity. So that's why physiologists have called it a fourth state of consciousness, more restful than sleep, more awake than normal waking. So, a person might smell things more, but I don't want to focus on that because it's really more about awareness rather than awareness of anything. And this is where it gets kind of vague, I understand. It's just pure awareness, not awareness of, like right now we have awareness of each other. We're looking at the computer screen and so forth. This fourth state of consciousness, there's not awareness of anything in particular. It's that unbounded awareness within us becomes aware of itself. Or another, that's why I call it higher self healing meditation, because the higher self becomes aware of itself as unbounded.
All right. Now, for me, when we say unbounded, that means that the consciousness is not limited to the physical body, but the consciousness is aware, to use your word, of what is within as well as without. It's connected to all of consciousness. It's more spiritually visceral. I'm gonna make up my own terminology here.
Okay. I'm sorry. Was there more? Did you have something?
Well,
I don't want to interrupt you.
I wanted to get more succinct here because there is some vagueness, and I'd like folks who are watching to really understand that what takes place is not just, I feel calm. Now, I can facilitate hypnosis and somebody can feel calm and they can come back and go, I feel as if I had a vacation. It feels so good. Or you can do meditation just on a very light level and feel very peaceful and calm, very relaxed. What I would really like to make more succinct and get across to folks is what that awareness means. Because when you say awareness of self, it's limited to what the person knows that is at this moment. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. This can get very, very vague because what we're talking about here is really beyond language. Normally, I remember when I first came back from my meditation training course, the first two people I taught were my parents, But before I taught them, I would say, Mom, who are you? And she'd say, I'm your mother. I'm your father's wife. People tend to identify themselves with the role they play in a family or in society, or their political belief or their religious belief or things of that kind. We're more than just our bodies. We're more than just our minds. We're more than just our feelings. We're more than just our intellectual discriminations. more than our perceptions. What the fourth state of consciousness is where I become aware of that vastness that I am. This is where it gets kind of vague, I understand. But it's like, imagine your head expanding. And not obviously your head doesn't expand, but your awareness becomes so big that you identify yourself for that short time with this huge awareness. This, again, not aware of the room, not aware of smell.
Wanted more clarity so that people understand the usual limitations that are perceived when we close our eyes and take a breath, or we do, again, meditation on a very light level, is not really an apt description for what takes place with what you're teaching them. And that's why I went to that awareness from within as well as without, because to me, it has more to do with soul. It has more to do with spirit and the universe, embodied within ourselves.
Right. There's less awareness of your body in this state because that's localized in a way. And again, this is really where it gets very vague. It's that awareness. It's our biggest part of who we are. Which has not been open to our awareness for most of our lives. We just think we're this, 6 foot, male or female or what have you. But here in that moment, what we experience is our essence. Use the word soul. That's a good word. And it's non-physical. It's just this bigness, this vastness. And what that does is very practical. We come out refreshed, we come out energized, we come out more creative. I know I've so many creative ideas come as a result of this. I know when the Beatles were studying with the guru I studied with, they wrote so many songs as a result of all that. It's a vast reserve and inspiration, as well as a sense of peace. So you come out feeling refreshed, energized, more peaceful and calmer.
Okay. Now, you gave out your email before, but people can just go to carriebayer.com. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, they can. That's exactly right. And there's on the toolbar on the top, there's a place for meditation. They can open that up and read about the meditation that I teach. They could read a bio of myself as well. And
again, you have a class coming up when?
This Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's on Zoom, and I even have the ID information I could present if you'd like.
No, I think that's for the moment for people just trying to hear.
Yeah, they can call me.
Carrie.com is probably the easiest way for them to connect with you, and that's Carrie, C-A-R-Y, Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R.com. And you said you have the information on the top. They can click in respect to meditation. And I'd love to share as well, you have a multitude of books out, and we talk a little bit about creativity and the fact that you go into that beautiful state of consciousness and you come out with more awareness. I think as well, you come out with more confidence when you meditate like this on a consistent basis. And so those ideas that someone has had in their back of their consciousness all of a sudden is in the forefront. And I think people can have an awareness of that. It's, again, not just peace. It is not just aware. It is motivating. It is an acuteness that we don't typically have in our waking state, except for the occasion when someone is in flow state. And that would be that person who, let's say, is climbing a rock, or someone who is doing something like jumping out of a plane. There is a difference in consciousness in that moment. And the meditation that you're facilitating shows them how to connect with that. It's a higher aspect of themselves and their, I'm going to say, highest potential as well. Yes?
Yes, but I want to make sure that people understand that to learn the meditation I teach, they don't have to jump out of a plane.
Oh, but I enjoy jumping out of a plane.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. But what will happen is that in time, their consciousness will rise to a higher plane.
So they don't need to jump out of the plane then, because they can just be there.
That's right. Why jump out of a plane when you can be a higher plane?
Or as my mother would say, why do you have to jump out of a perfectly safe plane? But that's for another time.
Okay.
All right, I want to give out your web address again. It's Carrie Bayer, and that's CarryBayer.com. Carrie, how many books have you written up to this point?
25, actually. I've written 18 books about personal growth and 7 humor books. Because one of the things that meditation does is help bring out more. And it's interesting, as you become more of that universal part of yourself, it also allows you to become more of your individual nature. And I was very blessed to be given, as all of us have been, a sense of humor. And it's one of the principal ways that I interact in the world. So that has gotten much sharper over the years through meditation.
And folks, when they go on your website, they have access to your books as well, correct?
Yeah, in fact, that's right. I have a book called Higher Self Meditations, which goes into everything we've been talking about and more, except the jumping out of the airplane part.
No, that's my thing. And all, I have to be flying around. All right. So in 60 seconds or less, what is one thing you really want everybody to know?
That meditation can be easy, that you're using about 1/10 of your potential. The meditation that I teach will allow you in a natural way to awaken more of that potential. You don't have to wait weeks and months to have experience with it. You will have experience with it in the first 15 seconds, and your life will become increasingly enriched.
All right. Perfect. I'm so glad that you could join me this evening again. It's always such a pleasure. And I know we have to connect otherwise, so I'll give you a holler later. See, we really are friends, folks. Okay. Reach out to Carrie. And if you're thinking, oh, but I missed the email, just remember it, Carrie Bayer, CarryBayer.com. And you can get all of this information there. And as for myself, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com. Again, Carrie, thanks so much for being on. It's always a pleasure to have you on air, and I'm sure everybody is excited to learn how to do meditation that's easy. Good night, all.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Understanding Spirit with Mary Shapano. Mary Shapano. Live from MaryVCircles.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our
websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Understanding Spirit on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another week of Understanding Spirit. I'm your host, Mary. I have drawn cards. I've got cards everywhere at the moment, but I have done 3 cards for the collective. So if you feel like tuning in to 1, 2, or 3, and always remember, if it resonates with you, that's great. If it doesn't, let it go. It might come up for you a little bit later. Just see what makes sense. What's for you will be for you, and what isn't won't be. It is for the collective, okay? So it's not for an individual, but it will find you when it's meant to come to you, okay? So if you have tuned into the first card group, the first card that I got was Archangel Haniel, which is this card. This and also animals, and the third one was spreading your wings. Okay, so when I'm tuning into these cards, I feel like there's like tuning into like new beginnings. If you are on some kind of a spiritual path or you're learning to do readings, it can also be a time for you to tune in and see who your animal guides are. And if you've resonated or had a deep love for any particular animal, growing up, so whether it was birds or cats or leopards or lions or whatever it might be that you have always been drawn to, maybe you have one of those as an animal spirit. So just kind of like tune in and see how you go. This is also about like growing in your confidence and I got a message from Spirit, just like soar like an eagle. So it's like new beginnings, and there's like animals on all 3 of these cards as well. Okay, so if you have drawn, if you were drawn to card 2, again, this is with another angel, Archangel Zakil, and it's self-acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness, confidence. And this one is about making sacrifices, okay? So initially it's about like, don't be hard on yourself, okay? If you've, because whatever energy is around you, that's what's going to continue, with you. So you want to be constantly lifting yourself up. If you have sort of not trusted your intuition in the past and you're kind of like maybe beating yourself up about it, Spirit are like, don't worry about that, forgive yourself, let things kind of go, and and just know you're not alone in that. We all do, that kind of thing, and just kind of work on trusting your instincts a little bit more, so that you can get the confidence and get where you need to go when situations present themselves for you. If you were gravitating to the third card pull, it's the first one is this one, which is up from the depths, releasing difficulties, other people, and also stress. Okay, so this is obviously about letting things go and coming out too from a difficult situation where maybe you felt overwhelmed or that you were in over your head, and it's now time you're starting to come out of it, or it's time to now start looking at coming out of all of that. And if you do, need to walk away from certain people, that's okay. Also have a look and see whether there's people that might come. You know, sometimes we can have the silliest conversations and some little bit of enlightenment can come out of it that can be beneficial for any of us, right? So, you know, see whether somebody has something that can help you with this, you know, moving forward. And also, you know, like whatever is stressing you out, you know, like remove things, people out of your life so that you can continue to move ahead with where you need to go with everything. Okay. Now, I don't know if I've got a caller coming up yet, but if you're looking at making any kind of changes in your life, just, you know, see where and have a think about what you need to do to get a better outcome. You know, tune in more to yourself and what it is that you truly want. I'm being drawn back to, while I'm waiting to see if a caller comes through, I'm also being drawn back to card 1 and also card 2. There are many angels around both of you, if you have picked that. So there's definitely a lot of spiritual guidance around you as well. So tune in to that as well. Okay, I do believe I've got a caller. Jeanette, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
How can I help you today, Jeanette?
Yes, I just want to know what is if someone was spiritual guidance that was coming to me or visiting me every night.
You have a spirit coming and visiting you every night? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. And how are you feeling about that?
Just like it's been like sometimes I feel like anywhere I go, it's just like my head, it's like it's starting to feel numb.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You are quite intuitive and you are quite open to spirit. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Yeah. And when you are not protecting yourself properly and your space, you will get like any spirit coming forward and trying to make contact with you. I do feel like you need to learn more about yourself regarding that. There's so much that you need to learn around the spiritual realm and get a better understanding of that. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah, I do feel like this is an area of work that you could do. And I feel like spirit, whatever spirit's coming up, because I can see it's like a little bit like a revolving door, almost like you get a lot of spirit around you, okay? And I do feel like you could, if you tune in on your craft, I do feel like you could get, you could do this kind of work. Would you be interested in doing that?
Yes. Yes, I was thinking about that. It's just like something like bothering me, and I feel something like behind me, but I can't figure it out.
There is a male spirit that comes and he stands behind you, okay? But I see him as being more of an annoying spirit, all right? I don't see him as a past loved one, okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah, because I feel
also,
like... Please go on, Jeanette.
Yeah. And can I ask you a question if there's anything that you see about family matters?
Family? Okay.
Yes.
With your family, I feel like there's been some, have you had some loss around you? I don't know if somebody's passed away or a loss in that you're not seeing somebody anymore. I feel like there's a lot of like stress and kind of anxiety around you as well. I feel like you just need to have like more balance in your life. I don't know if there's any kind of like legal kind of case coming up or anything, but I feel like there's justice is coming around. Does that make sense for you?
Hello?
None of it?
Yes.
None of that made sense for you, Jeanette?
Can you repeat again? It's just like the connection was lost.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I'll go slower. Have you had any loss around you? Let's start with that. Have you had any loss around you, or, you know, whether it's a loved one that has passed, or just disconnection with family members or friends? Because I see a lot of movement around you, a lot of changes around you. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah. Family member. It's my grandmother.
Your grandmother passed away? Okay. Did your grandmother have a sore back? It would have been before she passed. Because she's telling me, she come in saying, oh, my back hurts, right? Your grandmother is saying that you need to sort of calm down and settle down a bit right now with your thoughts and also with your emotions, right? And she's saying that I'm getting like happiness and completion of things are coming for you, and there are resolutions and endings to things. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, makes sense.
Okay. Did anyone slip or fall around you, whether it was your grandmother or anybody, you or anybody in your family? Because she's talking about that as well.
Yes, but that's on my husband's side.
Okay, that's all right. She's just making note of that. I'll just see. Did your grandmother promise to keep in touch with you? Because she's saying that she wants you to know that she's always going to keep coming around and keeping in touch with her. And you can tune in to her as well whenever you want. But you need to clear your space there. Use white light and clear your space so that you can get the spirits that you want in, to get the messages that you want. But if you want to go into business in this area, you can. Spirit are there to facilitate and help you with all of that.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Love Life with Katana Star. Katana Star. Live from katanastar.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, ask1radio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Love Life on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Thank you. Hey, good afternoon, evening, morning, everyone, wherever you are. I'm Katie, and this is Love Life with Katana Star. You can find me on Facebook under Katana Star or on my website by clicking on the link if you would like to book a private reading. So today I am going to jump straight into a collective reading for everyone who's listening, and I'll be taking a caller as well. So we'll go from there. All right, I'm going to get straight into it because these readings absolutely fly, and they go so fast, and I really enjoy them. All right, so here we go. Where I am at the moment, it's the 11th of October, and this will be the general message for the cards, from the cards, sorry. All right, let's focus. This one, and we've got the 8 of Discs. This is a good one. I like this one. This the 8 of Discs. Look, you know, this is quite generic across all tarot decks with the meaning behind it. This means getting back to skill enhancement, getting back to work on something. You know, that can mean getting back to school to further enhance your study, or it could mean, you know, taking up some kind of course to enhance your creativity, or finishing off a creative project, something like that. And this is really applicable to me at the moment, this card. But it's normally a really positive sign when it comes to enhancing skills and your creativity. And that's with the collective message of for everybody. That's where people are probably, you know, focusing their energy at the moment, is on how to improve their skills or finishing off things, or you know, if people are studying, it's getting to that time of year now where exams are coming and things like that. So it's all about that that learning and skill enhancement. And it's a good one too. I like the 8 of Discs. It's one of my favourites actually. And when it comes out, it's normally a very good sign that you're on the right path when it comes to pursuing creative passions or skill enhancement with knowledge and things like that. So that is the 8 of Discs, or Pentacles, whichever deck you're using. Authors, you know, sometimes call them discs, pentacles, coins, whatever. But they mean the same thing basically. All right. So I will be taking a caller now, and I'll just sit here for a moment while we wait till we see who comes up. Yeah, the 8 of Discs is always good. It's always good. I like to think of it too as you know, even spirituality, you know, using crystals and enhancing that sort of stuff. Thank you. So I'm ready to go. Cheers. All right. Shuffle away here. I'll wait till I see her. I've got on the screen there. Sarah in New York. Hi, Sarah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? I've just had a card flip out, actually, Sarah, just as I saw your name. So I'm gonna grab this one for you because I reckon this one's meant for you. Got the 5 of Swords. I'll tell you what that means in a second. But if you want to have a think about something that you might like to ask me, whether that's a question or if you just want a general reading, I'm reading with my Sacred Circle deck today, and I've also got some oracle cards here. So, yeah, what would you like?
I think let's go with a general reading. I'm just kind of curious kind of where things are going, so I'd love to hear that.
Okay. No problem at all. Look, the 5 of Swords flew out just as I saw your name, so I feel that this is meant for you. It's not the nicest card in the deck, I'll be honest, Sarah. This indicates a bit of conflict going on between you and others, okay? It's a difficult one. It can be internal conflict, Sarah. It can be something that you might be struggling with inside on a moral level, but normally it's about recent conflict that's gone on, and it often with heated words exchanged, and sometimes people winning at all costs. They'll say something and feel as though they've walked away as the victor, but really they're not, because the guilt that they're carrying, they know that it's in the long run, they really want to make peace, but they don't want to. And with the word defeat here on this card, if you can see the screen, that's showing, that's possibly indicating either how you're feeling or the other party is feeling, okay? Mm-hmm. And normally when the Five of Swords comes out, it's normally a necessary conflict that has just built up and it's had to take place. It's like there's been some issues with some communication going on. And look at the bottom of the deck right here, I've got the Knight of Wands, okay, the Knight of Wands. So I'm picking up this is the male that you've been having conflict with. And if it's not a male, it could be a female with more masculine energy. Now, the Knight of Wands is very fiery. The Knight of Wands is adventurous. The Knight of Wands, you know, when you first encountered this person or met this person, they're someone who will lure you out of your comfort zone and have fun, and there's a lot of fire and passion there. They're very outgoing. They're also quite inspirational when it comes to pursuing your own creative talents and ambitions and things like that. Now, given that the Five of Swords is here, I'm picking up there's some conflict with you and a male.
Yeah, no, you're spot on.
The attributes of the Knight of Wands, okay? Look, given it's a fire element, he could be a fire sign, meaning he could be an Aries or a Leo or a Sagittarius, but not always, okay? That's only if, you know, when you bring the astrology into it, if you're doing a real deep reading on a character, it's good to use the fire, the coinciding element to that person. But anyway, so they're the two cards. Look, I'll do another shuffle there for you, Sarah. Look, and jump in anytime to interrupt me or ask me something if something's not resonating for you, because I do tend to get on a bit of a roll. Okay.
No, I think you're spot on right now. I've been dealing with some conflicts in relation to like my love life and everything like that. So I think that's a good kind of good role.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask the cards for some guidance for you. Is that all right, Sarah?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So can we have some guidance for Sarah, please, in relation to this conflict? This one. Resolution. Three of Cups is there. Let's go another one. 10 of Cups. It's a nice one. I'll stop shuffling when it feels right, Sarah. But at the moment, Star. Lovely. One more. Seven of Wands. Okay. Straight away with the Seven of Wands and three of Cups here, I'm picking up there's either been some jealousy or insecurities with a third party. Now, I'm not saying there's been cheating, not at all, but there might have been thoughts that someone's worried, that either one of you is worried that the other one's not quite being honest or faithful. And the reason I say that, the Three of Cups can indicate a third party. It can also indicate, though, you know, good times socially with friends and drawing upon your support networks. But right next to the Seven of Wands, there's been some values challenged here. I can unpack this more and get more clarity for you, but at the moment I'm not feeling the need to do that. I think this is more of a sense of insecurity that's underlying the conflict of what's going on between you is fear, okay, possibly from both sides. Mm-hmm. But look, the reason I don't want to unpack that deeper at this point is because I've got the 10 of Cups and the Star here. These are beautiful. This means healing, all right? This means the 10 of Cups, when it comes to a relationship reading, is the most beautiful card you can pull in the deck. This means that you will resolve these conflicts. It means that if you both put the effort in, you can have it all, okay? This picture shows happiness. It shows contentment in the home life with relationships. It means that all the hard work and conflict and everything that you've been through and lessons learned, if you put the work in together, you can make this work, okay? It's a beautiful card, especially for relationships, and the Star means healing, okay? And it also means remembering your hopes and dreams, okay? So keep focusing on what you want this relationship to look like. Put the work in, heal from past traumas or past things that I feel might be the underlying influence to this, something that's either happened in the past or there's definitely some insecurities there. Like I said, someone's worried that someone's cheating, or someone's worried that, that there's a third party that's, there could even be a third party on the horizon there that could be in one of your ears, But this person, even though it says rivalry, this person doesn't have the upper hand. You have the upper hand, okay? And like I said, with the star, that's huge. The star is the biggie here. This represents healing, hopes, aspirations, everything to do. It's definitely a good sign when it comes to your relationship. Now I'm going to unpack a modern oracle. There, look, at the bottom, there's the healing card. So there's definitely healing to be done here. Let's see what's going on here. More guidance for Sarah, please.
Yeah, I mean, right. I think within that, the relationship that you're referring to, kind of, we've ended things and we've kind of come to terms, but there is still that like unsettling, and so I've been trying to move on and everything like that. So I hear that.
Well, look, here's the emotional loss, heartache, grieving card. That just came out just as you said that. So that's recognising the grief and the hardness that you're going through at the moment, and the healing there. With the stagnation one, again, that would represent that too. So let's unpack this a little bit more. So with the healing there and with the 10 of Cups, this is saying, if you wanted to, you could heal this relationship. All right, I don't want to give you false hopes, but this is what the cards are indicating. All right. Mm-hmm. So, but I think what needs to happen is that you need to do the healing within. And, if you want to make it work, you can. There's children here. Do you have children together?
No.
Well, this is interesting because the children has come out. The children, childlike, innocent card has come out. And that's either telling me, I keep getting healing. There's something in the inner child that hasn't been healed yet, maybe. And that's the underlying cause to all of this, that sense of
that's interesting. Insecurity. Yeah.
So the children cards there. There's also a travel card here, but this can mean a different thing. This means overseas cruising along, taking your time. And look, I've only got 60 seconds left, Sarah, so I'll quickly reiterate what I've got for you there. This is telling me to cruise along, go with the flow, focus on your healing, and I mean, you may even be travelling, you may even be going overseas, but within the next couple of months, I think things will all you'll get a clearer perspective with everything that's happened for you in this relationship. Again, I'm getting encouragement. There's something with children here. I think this is asking you to go back to your inner child. Okay, do some inner child work if you can, and do that healing, because that with the star here, that is a beautiful sign for healing, especially next to the 10 of Cups. Okay, That's beautiful. You can't get a more positive reading than that when it comes to relationships, I tell you. So there's hope. There's hope there, sweetheart. Now, I do have to go, Sarah, because I've only got 30 seconds left, but thanks so much for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
That's okay. Good luck with your healing. Bless be. All right, thanks so much, everyone, for watching and listening. I'll be back the same time next week. We're on daylight savings over here, so it's 1:15 p.m. Australian daylight saving. Thank you.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Stellar Parenting with Brandy Kahn. Live from BrandyCahn.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, ask1radio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Stellar Parent on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Happy Tuesday, wonderful people from Houston, Texas. Welcome. welcome to Stellar Parenting with Brandy. I am your host, Brandy Kahn. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science degree in psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm super passionate about helping parents, helping guardians and teachers combine the magic of the stars and the planets with the art of consciously and intentionally raising our children. You can find me online at brandycon.com. That's Brandy with an I, and Con is Khan. And please join my Facebook group, Psychology Infused Astrology, to receive priority. If you want to be a guest on the show for a natal chart reading for you, or one for you want to know about your child's chart, or even just a tarot or intuitive reading, please join my group and sign up on the list. I'm so happy to have you all here. How is this week going for everybody? I just want to take a moment and talk to our listeners in Florida and to let you guys know that we are thinking about all of you, and we are praying for you with the hurricane that's headed your way. And I say this as someone who lives south of Houston, very, very close to the Gulf of Mexico. My heart absolutely goes out to you. And especially if you have children, if you are a parent, because one of the things that we want most is to give our children this sense of safety, a sense of security. And it's really hard to do that when you just don't know what's going to happen. So please know that I'm thinking about you all. I want you to stay safe and take care of yourselves and your family. So for our show today, I will be going over important transits that we have for this week. And we will be doing our In the Spotlight segment as usual. And then there should be a few minutes left. So if you want an astrology or a tarot reading, I use a Celtic cross spread, please call into the show. Please call into the show and receive a reading from me. Okay, so let's get started with our show today, people. We've got important transits this week. We've got Mars in Cancer that is squaring Mercury in Libra as of yesterday. Mercury in astrology is the planet of communication. And Mercury rules not only how we communicate, but how we think and process information, and also travel as well. So we've got, the planet of communication in the sign of Libra. Libra is an air sign that's concerned with relating to others. That's very concerned with diplomacy and harmony and peace. And can we just all get along? That's the feeling there with Libra. So Mercury in Libra is really thinking and speaking about getting along with other people. Now, in this tense aspect to Mars in astrology, Mars is the planet of action. Mars is the planet of drive and initiative and impulse. And he can be assertive, or Mars can even be aggressive if that energy is out of balance. So when we put Mars, this fiery planet, we put him in the water sign of Cancer. He can be a little bit uncomfortable and unsure exactly how to direct his energy. And so therefore, sometimes Mars in Cancer can come across, if unbalanced, if the energy is unbalanced in very passive aggressive ways. So what I want you to do this week, this combination opens the door to disagreement, to misunderstandings, to conflict. So I want you to think about what you say carefully before you say it. You'll be very prone to speaking impulsively without fully thinking about what you say before you say it. So I want you to think before you speak. Take a deep breath, think before you speak. And then when you're having a conversation with another person, to actively listen to what they are saying. So, not only to hear the words they are speaking to you, but to feel the energy of what's behind what they're trying to communicate with you, and then try to connect with them that way. Mars in Cancer, Cancer is the sign of home, family, nurturing, raising children, all of that. So with Mars in Cancer, I want you to be very mindful this week of how you are expressing yourself, particularly at home, with your family, with your spouse, with your children. Okay? If there's something that you need, you can share it in a very assertive way. Assertive communication is okay, but we don't want to veer off into anything that's aggressive or even passive aggressive. So make sure you're thinking about that this week and set the intention to be mindful with your speech. Okay? Now, tomorrow, we have Jupiter going retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Now, Jupiter has already been in Gemini since the end of May this year. And for those of you who have Sun or Moon in Gemini, or even your rising sign in Gemini, you may have noticed that it just seems as if doors have opened up for you. There's been all of this growth and potential and expansion and opportunity. Okay? So we've got Jupiter in Gemini. He's going to go retrograde tomorrow until February the 4th of 2025. So I want you all to take a look at your natal chart and figure out what part of your sky, what part of your natal chart real estate is in the sign of Gemini, because this will be an area that you are reassessing and rethinking about over the next few months. So let's just take, for example, let's just say that your 10th house of career is in the sign of Gemini. So maybe since the end of May, you've been growing your business, you've been expanding. You've had all of this opportunity coming towards you from a professional standpoint. So when Jupiter comes to a halt and appears to go retrograde in the sky, this is a time to reflect inwards. And it's a time to reassess. Okay, so the area that I'm growing my business, does this align with my personal mission? Does this align with my personal belief and my philosophy about life? How do I really feel about the direction that I'm heading? Is this where I want to be 5 or 10 years from now? Okay. So depending upon where Jupiter is in your natal chart, there's a lot of reassessing and re-evaluating how you've grown and expanded, and if that's the trajectory that you want to continue on. So please be mindful of that. We also have Pluto on Friday, October 11th. Pluto will finally station direct in Capricorn at 29 degrees. Now, Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. And he'll be there for he'll be direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn, about for the next 4 weeks until November 19th, when he finally enters Aquarius to stay. So Pluto will never again in our lifetimes be in the sign of Capricorn. So I want you again to go to your natal chart. Where is the Capricorn real estate? Which house, which area of your life is in the sign of Capricorn? And what you're going to do, you're going to try to figure out, is there anything left in this area of my life that I need to bring to a finish, that I need to bring to completion? Because as soon as Pluto goes retrograde, we get like a burst of power. You know, he's going to unleash his power there to help us over the next 4 weeks get things wrapped up. So let's just say, for example, that you've got Pluto in Capricorn in your 4th house of home and family. And you started remodeling or renovating your house and you're wanting to get everything wrapped up. The next 4 weeks is the perfect time to do that, with Pluto stationing direct and using that energy to bring that to completion. So those are transits for this week that I wanted to mention to you guys so that you're all aware of the energy and that you can be very intentional about how you use this energy to construct and create your life. Now, for our In the Spotlight series, today in the Spotlight, and I want everybody to listen carefully, because this might be a placement that not only your child might have it in their natal chart, but what about you as the parent? Do you have this placement in your natal chart, or do you know someone who does? And what we're talking about today is Moon in the sign of Leo. Moon in Leo, okay? So, in astrology, the moon is so important, not only because the moon helps us to understand our feelings and our emotions, but the moon also shows us what makes us feel safe and secure. And this is especially important for you to understand if you are a parent, if you have children, because you're wanting to provide a sense of safety and security to your children. So understanding the language of the moon and their natal chart will help you with that. So when we talk about the sign of Leo, let's talk about Leo for a moment. Leo is a fixed fire sign, okay? So what that means is Leo can be very persistent. Leo can be very focused, and Leo can be very energetic and expressive and wants to take action, okay? Those are the inherent qualities of Leo. Now, what's important to recognize is that Leo, like all of the other signs, has a deep need, a very deep psychological need with the sign of Leo. Leo has this need to feel validated. Leo has the need for approval, admiration, and attention, and even creativity as well, the need to be creative. Now, all children, all people have a need to matter and to feel validated and to feel approved of. But for those with strong Leo placements in the chart, that need is going to be even more emphasized or apparent in their personality. Now, the one thing I'll say about Leo, and I think that there are a lot of stereotypes when it comes to the astrological signs. But one of them that I've heard about Leo is that, Leo, usually people who have major placements in Leo, they are overconfident, they are arrogant, and they, are so entirely selfish. And that could be how Leo energy is expressed if it's unbalanced or dysfunctional in some sense. But many times people with Leo, here's the interesting fact about them. People with strong Leo placements a lot of times are here to learn how to truly develop their self-confidence so that they can shine, so that they can take center stage and radiate their light. A lot of times that self-confidence doesn't quite come naturally, even though it seems like it might. It's not always there naturally in the secure form. So, Leo may seem confident, but they're really working on overcoming some level of insecurity, usually is what I found in my clients, okay? So there's lots of compassion for people with strong placements in Leo. It can lead to sometimes a lot of self-doubt, questioning the self, and just feeling like you need approval from other people. So people who have moon in Leo, especially children with their moon in Leo, the emotions tend to be very warm. They may be very, very affectionate. They may be very loving. But these children also need a lot of love in return. So you want to teach them to be proud of themselves. Teach them to have that inner pride, that inner validation. And then that way they don't go looking for it from someone else. They don't need to be approved of, by other people if it's going to come from within. So there could be this deep need to feel special and to feel important. But our children with moon in Leo and strong Leo placements must learn that developing self-love and developing that self-approval must come from within first, okay? Otherwise, people could use that approval in a very harmful way. People could use that approval or their approval to manipulate our kids into getting them to do what they want to do in order to keep that approval. And we want our kids to be able to stand firm in who they are and what they know without being influenced by other people or needing their approval in that way. So moon and Leo children tend to be very sensitive with strong feelings. If that Leo energy is in any way out of balance, our children can be a little bit stubborn or overbearing at times, if that Leo is out of balance. But on the positive side, they tend to be very noble, very loyal, and they usually tend to have leadership skills or leadership ability, okay? And they really want to be outstanding at something, and they desire to be center stage. And creativity is such a strong area for Leo. So what you want to do as a parent, you want to ask, how can I foster my child's sense of creativity? How can I do that? And I mean, you can do that through music. You can do it through art, even theater. Theater tends to be really good for people with strong Leo placements because they've got a tendency to be a little bit dramatic anyway at times, right? And they can act on those emotions, and being on stage and playing out different parts is a good way to allow our children to allow their dramatic flair to bloom naturally and in a way that's constructed, okay? But again, I want to emphasize the importance of the psychological need at play here with the sign of Leo. Leo has a need to receive validation of identity, approval, attention, and affirmation. And pride runs strongly within the personalities of people with strong Leo placements. And self-esteem is so important to them because that's going to determine how they experience the world. That will determine the foundation of their lives many times. They're working on developing that strong sense of self-esteem. So please, as a parent, always remember that. And one way to really hurt or to injure their pride is to insult them or to humiliate them. Okay? So as someone who was a child with Moon in Leo, I will say if you have any criticism for your child, please always begin with a compliment or with, something that you've observed that they've done right. So let's say, for example, you want your child to clean their room. Their room is kind of messy. You ask your Moon and Leo child, please go clean your room, sweetheart. And you go back, they say they're finished, you go back to check, and it still looks like a tornado has torn through the room. But you do notice that the books on the desk have been stacked very nicely and the desk is organized. So I would begin that way. I would begin with, I love the way that you've organized your desk and you've stacked your books so neatly on top of each other. But could you also please make the bed? Could you make sure that you pick up the toys on the floor? Could you make sure that, your shoes are put away in your closet? So always before a piece of criticism or advice that they might be sensitive to, start with what you see that's good, what they've done right. And if you do this, they're more likely to listen to you and more likely to take your advice and your direction. So with Leo children or people with strong Leo placements, validate them for the wonderful human beings that they are. And then they will absolutely open their hearts to you. And that way you can cement a really strong bond built on a solid foundation with your child. Okay, so that's all for our In the Spotlight series this week. And we have a caller. We have Sherry. Sherry calling from Canada. Hi, Sherry.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for calling into the show. Would you like astrology or tarot?
Tarot would be great.
Okay, great. Okay, so I've got my cards here and I'm just going to shuffle a little bit. And do you know what area you want to focus on?
Well, I have a lot of things going on in my life and I'd like to know when some things are going to settle and things about like family dynamics and stuff.
Okay, so let's just take a look. I'm shuffling and I'm getting in touch. Let me just connect with the guides here for Sherry. Sherry wants clarity. Okay. And let me know when to stop, Sherry, when to stop shuffling.
Okay. Stop.
Okay. So there we go. Okay. Alrighty, so I do use a Celtic cross spread, and I see right here the card for, what we've got that's going on right now in the present moment. We do have the 9 of Wands. So I know that you've been working quite a bit. You've been applying yourself, in your life diligently, and it still feels like there's a little bit of ways to go. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the challenge card that we have over the Nine of Wands, though, I do have the Eight of Cups, which is all about leaving something behind, leaving a situation, or taking a different path if something has not been serving our highest good. So there's this whole dynamic that I'm picking up on with these cards of you're working hard on something, you're focused on something, you're putting 110% in, but then there's a part of you that's like, should I try something different? Or is this going to work? Or should I just give up? Does that make sense?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And what I do know from the personal power card, we do have the strength card. So I know that one thing that's working in your favor is you've got a tremendous amount of internal resilience and internal strength. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, Sherry, that I'm just picking up intuitively with that card. I do feel at times as if you feel like you've got to have everything together, like you're afraid to maybe reach out to others if you need help. You don't really want anybody. You don't want to come across as vulnerable or weak in any way whatsoever. So I do feel as if I try to tap into my strength. I'm trying to be resilient at times. And that's the image that I'm projecting to the world around me. You understand?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, but within that, I do know that I feel an area of sensitivity. I feel, this area of vulnerability where even though, I feel so strong at times and so sure about everything, there's a part of me that's not quite there. You understand?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Now, over the next, good. Over the next few weeks, I do have the Eight of Swords, and with that card, there's the feeling of being a little bit limited or restricted by what's going on in your life. But a lot of times it's our own thoughts or thinking or our perception about the situation that makes us feel a little bit limited. And then we're unable to really see what can work in our favor. You understand that?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, good. And then I'd say over the next month, there is the Two of Wands that's here, which, for me means beginning something new, going in a new direction, heading into a new venture. There's this feeling of, okay, starting something new. And it may be, in conjunction with another person, because we've got the two here and the two feels very significant for me. So I don't think this is something that you're doing on your own. It does feel as if there's one other person that's there with you as you guys decide to shift into something new or a new approach. That make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about the Knight of Cups here. It's in the position of things that have happened in the past. And usually when I get the Knight of Cups, it's about relationships and it's about love and it's about having this feeling of being loved and connecting with someone else. So I feel like that I want to say, like within the past, like the past 2 years, it does feel as if there's a significant relationship and the feeling or the connection between you and that individual was quite strong. You understand that?
Yes, I do very much. Several months ago, I connected with a half brother. And and it's been going great. So that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Okay. Absolutely wonderful. Good. We do have here for the external influence on your situation, one of the best cards in the deck. We've got the Sun. Okay. So the Sun is all about hope, optimism, joy. So I know that there's this sense that you have, or that even other people around you may have, that everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. The sun will shine again, one day. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And I will say For hopes, wishes, dreams, we've got the King of Pentacles. So there's something here about money or finances or being able to meet material needs that you're hoping for or wishing for.
Oh,
you understand? Okay. All right. Because that comes up. Okay. So I will tell you, we've got the answer card and the outcome card. Now, the answer card is one of my favorite cards. It's the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, that's all about financial prosperity, family happiness. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck because it's like, oh, wow, all of this, wonderful, all these wonderful things and situations are here for me as far as meeting my material needs, financially and with my family. It's like happy family life. And just as I'm feeling into that, I know that this is something that you're really working towards or something that you're really wanting to, what's the word? It feels as if things may have been shaky over the last few weeks, but I feel like that I want to say with this 10 of Pentacles, things are heading in a better direction for you. Okay?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the outcome card, we do have the 10 of Swords. So what's interesting is your answer card and your outcome card, they're both 10s, which, are about bringing something to completion or fulfillment. And then with the 10 of Swords, it's like there might be a big change for a new beginning, which also mirrors a lot of, the eclipse that we had last week. So it does feel as if there is a change coming for a new beginning. And, with the 2 of Wands and the 10 of Swords both make, and I feel like, okay, something new, a new beginning, a new approach. We're going to head in a different direction. But with this answer card of 10 of Pentacles, heading in the new direction will be a good move for you. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sherry. We only have a few seconds left, but thank you so much for calling into the show. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you very much. Okay, you too. Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Sherry. All right. And thank you, everyone, for joining me today for Stellar Parenting with Brandy. I'll be here again next week, so please join us and stay safe. And people in Florida, I'm thinking about you.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for astrology and psychic readings with Lady D. Live from LadyDPsychicParties.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, ask1radio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is astrology and psychic reading on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, welcome to Astrology and Psychic Readings with Lady D. I am your host, Lady D, for this segment. And for the people in Sydney, it's a new time of 2 p.m., not 1 p.m., as daylight savings have happened here in Sydney. So this week ahead, it is going to be, I feel like, it's a mix of a lot of transits that are coming up this week. The big thing we have on the 17th of October, we do have a full moon that is going to be on the 17th of October at 10:26 p.m. in Aries. It is my time here in Sydney. This full moon, it is going to be about strength. It's about, I'm going to say courage, but it's also about anger, aggression. We're seeing so much happening around the world, and I feel like this is going to be bringing on a lot more stuff happening around the world, because we are dealing with Aries, which is the god of war. So there is going to be war things, unfortunately, also coming up, because we've also got the moon squaring both Mars and also both Pluto, Mars and Pluto during this full moon. So we could be seeing some sort of ending. I have a feeling there's going to be something maybe with an economy or the economies around the world, but also having that emotionally fueled anger might be coming up. So things that trigger your emotions might make you more frustrated or anger with that square to Mars. We do have a sextile to Jupiter during this full moon. That's going to be a bit of a boost of luck here. But I feel like it's going to be about, I feel like being pushed, or I feel like maybe someone's trying to push you in a direction you don't want to go, just people being pushed here. There might be a thing of trying to be a bit diplomatic about people even pushing you what side you're going to pick. I do feel like there's going to be something that gets uncovered here, like someone, we see the real person, so someone that's been hiding behind a mask. We might see their true colours coming up this week with this full moon. And I feel like we've got on the 14th, we've got Mercury moving into Scorpio. So that's going to be, with that, when people who have Mercury in Scorpio, they can be a little bit secretive, keeping their cards close to their chest. There is a thing about loyalty and trust that's also going on with that transit. And it's going to, it's also about, getting what you want and how to approach people to say how to get what you want as well. We've got all week, we do have Venus tri Mars, which is helping us to strength through relationships and also money. We've also got the square with Mercury and Mars that will stop on the 15th. And then we've got till the 15th, we've still got the Mercury square Jupiter, which is giving you a lot of courage to be able to say what you need to say to people too. All week, we're going to have Mars tri Saturn, which is going to be good for any problems, giving us that strength and that courage to sort of move through any issues, any problems that are going to come up. We have an opposition all week for Venus to Uranus. That's bringing about something unexpected with relationships and also money. It's an opposition, so the planets are opposite each other in the chart. So it can be good or bad. We've also got things with Chiron, which is dealing with emotional wounds that's coming up too. And Mars is going to start its opposition with Pluto on the 15th. And on the 12th, we also have Mars sextile Uranus, which is an unexpected courage. So unexpected strength that I find is going to be coming up to help people too. So we do have a lot of good transits. And then we've also got transits that are causing a bit of friction. But I just feel like things are going to be building up to this full moon that is kind of be coming up here on next Thursday. But in the meantime, we do have some good aspects, and we've got some. So I feel like this week's going to be very much up and down. That's going to be coming up here. So we'll go to the caller now. So we've got Tiffany, who's in Darlingford, who's in Canada. So hi, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How can I help you today?
I was just wondering if anything would bring up with my career, finances, relationships, health.
Okay.
Anything related to that?
Yeah. Instantly, I just get, when I go to your career, I feel like you don't have a voice, or you're feeling like you don't have a voice. It's like I'm straining to talk to you or to get something out. So I don't know if you feel like people are ignoring you, or when you speak up, like no one's listening to you. But I feel like as I flip here, I feel like that's about to change for you, especially when we're getting in November. Feel like it's like you can speak up, or people want to hear what you're saying. Too, it's like you got the courage or getting. I also feel like there's like some sort of announcement there, but it's a good announcement that's coming up for where you are. I also feel like you're also wanting to move forward, and you wanting to move forward where you are, but you're stuck, like you're being held back, or you can't, or you're just being stuck and delayed. Also, again, my mouth is getting dry. So I don't know if you get thirsty, or your mouth you get quite dry yourself too. But I'm keeping hearing things about the change for you, and it is a big way. I do feel like it's a step up. And it's like when you get given this opportunity, it's like you've been ready for it, but you're feeling nervous and anxiety because it's like, oh no, it's actually here. But you need to move forward, like you need to move this. I feel like you're able to do it. You have constructive criticism. You're there to help people too. As well. What do you do for your work?
So right now I'm a stay-at-home mom. I do hairdressing. I work on the farm with my husband, and I'm actually just going to get into doing some facial stuff with my girlfriend. That's likely what you are talking about.
Okay.
I've been nervous about.
Right. That's okay. It's okay. I don't know. I just feel like by November it's going to be clear to you with what's coming on. Okay, let's see where we're going to go. Okay, I feel like the voice thing, it might be to do with your friend. I feel like that it's like, I don't know if they've got more experience than you, or they've been doing it for a longer time, but it's like they think they know what they're doing, but you have good input, but I feel like they're not listening to you. That's where I feel like the communication is going to be coming in. I feel like it's a start. I feel like you guys, like, you work well as a team, but someone needs to be the leader here. But I kind of feel like you're the better leader. I feel like this partnership might be a little bit short term. I just feel like you're going to be, you're better off being like the boss and then having someone help you. Is where I feel like. Because I feel like if your friend's good as a friend, but it's like two chiefs, like two people that are the boss. One person needs to be the boss. One person needs to be the leader, not leader, the follower, the assistant. That's where. But I feel like in the end, you will sort of do things on your own. Your husband does support you, but the stuff to the farm, I feel like you're moving away from the farm, and it's more about more what you like to do. I feel like, so you like doing more the facials or the beauty?
Yeah, I'm into, like, I've done nails, and I have my hairdressing license, and so now I'm taking on this facial line too.
It will grow. It will grow. I feel like you're doing a lot of. You're also using. I'm seeing that viral foundation, a Korean foundation. I feel like you're doing a lot of perhaps into makeup too. That's going to be coming in here as well. How long will you be? Look, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like with your friend, you will stay with her for until like next year, perhaps around even March or even April next year. And then I feel like it's like you want to go on your own. You might not do it with her. I just feel like this might not be long term with her.
Okay.
And you know hair very well. I will say that too. Like, you know hair very well as well. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like with the opportunity I saw you getting, where I saw you being scared and nervous, I think that's you doing it on your own, but you can do it. But there's rumblings in November, so perhaps when you're starting your beauty, the facial thingy. But I also feel like I might be doing like parties, like perhaps going to people's houses and doing like facial parties, or pampering parties too. But I do feel like you're gonna be quite good. Let's look at relationships for you. I get that you're very loved and you're very, very adored. as well in your family. I feel like your husband wants to support you the best he can as well. But it's like hard work. So I just feel for him, what he does when they have the farm, what he does, it's just very hard work for him. And I feel like he needs an extra pair of hands, or he does need extra help as well. I also feel like, I don't know, it's like someone is not interested. So I don't know, it's like, if it's not you, I feel like it's like a child, or if you've got any children, but someone's not interested in doing farm stuff there too. So let's see. I also have a gentleman with me in spirit, and he seems very polite as well. He's a good-mannered man. I feel like he told me that he is tall. I am seeing him in a suit, but he presents himself very, very well. Is your father passed over?
So his grandfather passed away. I'm assuming it would be him.
Was he a tall man, and like did he wear like a suit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well mannered. He's also telling me he's good with money as well. And he's proud of you, what you've accomplished, what you've done. He's
would it be like a grandfather figure kind of thing?
Yeah,
my grandfather passed away too.
The suit that I'm seeing him in, it's not like what I'd see. That's an old-fashioned kind of suit. Like it's just the way how it sits on him. I just feel like it's something sort of not recent. But he has a very high stamina. He has good posture as well. And I just feel like he's quite broad, but skinny and tall as well. He's not like a string bean. He's broad, but he's also very helpful, very charming, very sincere. But I feel like he's got money in his pocket. I feel like he's good with money, but he has money on him too. But what's the message quickly? His message is that he loves you and it's a job well done. Like he does want to applaud you. And even he's saying to me that you got to do things on your own to move ahead. It's like I really feel like you need to be the leader, or you need to be a boss. Is what I feel like for you. So I hope I've helped you today.
Oh, yeah, it does. Thank you very much.
That's okay. So guys, thank you for joining me. I will be at the MBS next week, so I'll be live from the MBS in Sydney, Darling Harbour. And they'll be at 2:00 if you're in Sydney. If you're in America, it is at the 11 o'clock p.m. Time slot. So if you want to contact me, you can. My website is Lady D Psychic Parties. My Facebook page is Lady D Psychic Parties. Instagram is Lady D S Psychic, and TikTok is Lady D Psychic. My YouTube video is Lady D or Danielle Psychic. I'll find it underneath that. So thank you, and I'll see you next week. So bye for now.